Do. It was an ending fitting for the start. How you twisted and tore our love apart. Your light fingers through the dark. I shuttered the lamp into darkness, cast us so. No, you've got it the wrong way round. You shut me up and tried to blame it on the brown. Cornered the boy, kicked out at the world. The world kicked back. And I'm fucking hunted now. Hello, Silent High Scythe. Hello, Wicked Blaze. Hello, Nox. Hello, Elab. Hello, Mina. Hello, Bananova Slupka. Constituents assemble. I apologise for the Red Labubu. You do indeed have a Red Labubu. I apologise for the lack of streams. I was driving for a while yesterday. I had to drive to and from Heathrow to drop my girlfriend back there, so it was a bit of a busy day. And then I had to pay my fucking taxes. And on the topic of paying taxes, if any of you are wondering, like, I always accidentally bookmark things, but if any of you are wondering how to add all number, I wasn't asking how to add all numbers. I was asking how you add up numbers in an Excel spreadsheet, because I've never learnt to use Excel. But yeah, I'm all good. I hope you guys are too. We got a very, very, very busy day of news. Lots of slop, lots of real world news, and just everything. To Chat and Chris, sup? It's up to you too. Also, I doubt anyone in here is a streamer, but one thing that is really annoying me about this fucking goal is that every time I stream, I have to end the goal manually and re-put in the actual amount of subs, and I think it might be because I don't stream off Streamlabs, which might fix the issue, but because gifted subs just don't seem to work. Also, why is the chat not coming through? Hello. Let me see if that pushes the chat through. That feels weird. There we go. I don't know why sometimes the chat overlay doesn't work. XL is ugly and annoying. I know. It's really annoying. It's a great video I just watched. Would recommend to all here, including you, Chris. Maybe I will watch the AI as a eugenics project. So also, quick update here. I am not streaming on tomorrow, which I would like to, but unfortunately Isaac is forcing me to do a podcast. I owe Isaac £50,000, and so he's making me do a podcast every day. No, I'm joking. That's not true. I'm very much looking forward to it. We're doing a podcast we got some banger guests coming up soon. I think you guys are going to like a lot of them. All of them. Oh, and I guess I'll announce some other stuff at the end of the stream. What else? If I could change my name to anything, what would it be? I don't know. I don't know. I'm fine with my name. I don't know. What's in a name? Eh? As Juliet said in her soliloquy. Is it a soliloquy? I don't know. Also recently found out that in soliloquies in Shakespeare, they can't lie. Multiple guests or just one for tomorrow's recording? Just one for tomorrow's recording, and then we've got a couple of others. So tomorrow we have TikTok extraordinaire James Ray coming on. Impress your workplace for my office folk. The basics, Dan. You can get a lot of money. I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of. Oh, you mean you're talking about yeah, I see what you mean. I used to dislike my name, but now I really like. It's gender neutral, and the X sounds cool. Yes, Alex is a pretty gender neutral name. Hello, Sophie. XL Basics. I see. Yeah, I assumed it was that. I mean, yeah, I probably should learn Excel. It would be helpful, but I did learn how to add up all the things in a certain thing. Hello, Tony Soprano lover. Good to see you. I might try streaming soon if I get the job I interviewed for. Nice. Streaming is fun. Requires a lot of time to build up your audience and consistency. That's what I've realized. And it's really hard to bring audiences over from other platforms if you've already started on those. Getting people over from TikTok to here was now impossible. I assume people don't really know I'm streaming today. The amount of times also I've had, I wonder if I've already had this exact stream title. I've had, is Trump going to attack Iran before? Will Trump strike Iran? Does this man ever get anyone's names right? Whose name did I get wrong? Sorry, my sincerest apologies. Feels like I haven't streamed in ages, and it's literally been, what, like 3 days? I watched The Voice of Hind Rajab, which was very good. I watched No Other Choice, which was very, very good. But yeah, I'm sorry. Normally I'll announce like when I'm next streaming. I don't know if there's a good way to set it up on here. And also you said, should I change my name to what they call me for a bit? Yeah, maybe I should change my name to that because it is quite funny. Or it would be funny. The best names are old Galicizations of ancient ones, like Demosthenes? I don't know. Okay, we're going to start with the Wordle. No, that was the answer recently. We're going to just pick a random word. Blare, as in to blare out music. Okay, that was a good... clammy. That's not how you spell clammy. It must have 2 M's. Hello to haters only. Hello. Claim, maybe let's go for. Oh. Ooh. You was live since the last stream. How might be affecting views. Is it still showing me as live on YouTube? Is it still doing that? That's so annoying. I know it did it for a while. I'm gonna go for something like that. Oh my god, what is this? This is so stupid. Incredible that I actually never got to catch the stream at the Wordle part. Never managed that before. Yeah, I mean, unlucky you. It showed you as live after you made your post, but it just linked to your last stream. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is so annoying. Why is this stupid platform so fucking shit sometimes? Like, yeah, it's annoying. It's very annoying. But we move. Does anyone have any words of encouragement for your son who didn't get into secondary school? Personally, I'm not very good with kids, but, you know, I don't think that, I think that things that feel very consequential in the moment one door closes, another door opens. That would be my commentary. I think that sometimes things that feel very consequential in the moment can lead to the most important things. For example, I didn't really do as well as I'd hoped in my A-levels, and one of the reasons I ended up doing Middle Eastern studies was because of that, because I ended up not getting in to do what I wanted, so I did Middle Eastern studies, and I way preferred it. I didn't even know it was an option. And yes, I would tell him that you're proud of him anyway. This is really annoying, by the way. I don't really know what this could be. I've gone through pretty much everything, so it's just... I'm going to go for something like that. It's that. Brilliant. Yeah, exactly, Trevor Trove Tales. And... yeah, speaking of another door opening, the UK is going to have visa-free travel to China. Yeah, I mean, maybe that would be exciting, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm sure it would be interesting to visit China. I just can't really believe that they've done that all of a sudden. Hopefully we open huge deals with China and they give us their electric cars. That would be exciting. I don't know what Starmer's actually up. I've not seen what Starmer has been up to recently. To be able to... I saw that we were able to travel visa-free, but I don't know what else they were up to. It was 15. Oh, wow. AstraZeneca will invest in China. That's brilliant news. I'm glad to hear. Okay, right. Let's have a look. So the ability for UK citizens to travel to China, travel visa-free for trips under 30 days, bringing Britain in line with countries such as France, Australia and Japan, halved import tax on whiskey sold from the UK to China, and an agreement to work towards a deal between both countries, cooperation on transnational organised crime and illegal immigration. By the way, they're collabing on basically... they're collabing on preventing the parts for small boats being prevented. Also, China. Also, I am very perplexed as to. So wait, does it still say I'm live, or does it now just not even say that I'm live? Thanks, YouTube. Incredible things. If not, I did see something incredible, which is oh, there's a lot of stuff. I just call them EVs. That's how Chinese I'm becoming. Yeah, we're all becoming Chinese. We're all becoming it. Cooperation on, pharmaceutical AstraZeneca also announced it will invest $15 billion in China until 2030. Wow. Starmer has gone to Beijing. To kowtow to President Xi. Really funny, really amazing stuff. We are Chinese Kirk. Yeah, well, speaking of Chinese Kirk, there are incredible things going on with Charlie Kirk and his former wife of Charlie Kirk. Conduct maneuvers with China and the Russian Sea of Oman and the Indian Ocean within days. This is going to be awkward. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Trump's actually going to strike. It's really unknown as to whether it's going to happen. Like, it is pretty, I don't know. The build-up's not even as considerable as last time. It looks like it might be defensive posturing. I really don't know. Iran's IRGC was labelled as terrorists by the EU. I saw that. Just want to see if I can find... Someone had, like, a good map of the build-up and comparisons. Let me see if I can find it. Excuse me. Gold is going up in price again. Who's not excited about that? My gold is doing really well. I don't own any gold, but I would like to. So that would be cool. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. There was an Al Jazeera US military build up. There was an interesting Al Jazeera. Here we go. So we learned from that video last time about the US military build up there. Chinese Kirk, yeah. The wife formerly known as Erika Kirk, indeed. Kiers couldn't have arrived in China with any less risk, like whenever the complete opposite to Aladdin is. Gold owners rise up. Yeah, gold owners do need to be rising up right now. Who got their tickets? To be honest, as I said, I was at the movies earlier this week, and it was fucking crazy that, like, the Bone Temple had less advertising than that Melania film. I can't imagine anyone going to see that Melania film as well, like, at all. I just couldn't imagine anyone going to see that. It's really odd. Really just I don't know who wants to watch, like, the day-to-day life of someone that isn't Trump, that's what Trump's wife, Melania Trump, that's her main thing. Wait, where's the comparison of here we go. So these are the two build-ups. Last time you had the USS Carl Vinson and the USS Nimitz. Why is it called the USS Nimitz? What the hell's the USS Nimitz? What's Nimitz? I want to find out what Nimitz is. Oh, it was Chester W. Nimitz. He was a big World War II commander-in-chief. Okay, fine. Don't tell me Trump is actually going to bomb Iran. I don't know. I mean, there's stuff like this that indicates that he might not. But yeah, hold on. We'll do the connections and then we'll carry on with some meme stuff and then we'll get into that. Her just reading to kids saying, who gives a fuck about Christmas? She's a great lady. Great lady. And yeah, you would rather watch The Bone Temple. The Bone Temple's really quite good. You've seen Declassified absolutely cooking Paul Mason. I've seen people talking about it. I haven't actually looked into it yet. As I said, I had a busy day yesterday. I did through like 5 hours, 8 hours of driving. Let's go for. Okay, right. Let's go into this. Silverstein, Grimm. Bear, bed, porridge, Goldilocks, and there's something else in here that I think goes with that. I don't think I can play a song. You can't play songs on YouTube. If I play... Oh, wait. I see what you're talking about. They're definitely bombing in the weekend when the market's closed. Yeah, but I mean, one thing Trump really has liked to do over the last few weeks and, well, over his last few bombing campaigns is to kind of cast doubt on what he's getting up to and to be like, oh, you think you know what's going to happen? No, you don't. And then doing it all of a sudden out of the blue. He may do bombings before. Yeah, maybe it's Bear. Yeah, it is Bear. Nice. Nice. He may do the bombing at any point. He may do it unpredictably. Do you have an Upscroll account? I don't have Upscrolled. Maybe I'll set one up, but I don't know. I'll probably just go on, and I need to start again. I promised myself that I would start. I promised myself that I would start making TikToks and short form content at the start of the year. I didn't. And so, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is get back to that on those platforms. I think those platforms are shit, but what can you do? They're not my main things. Okay, I think you're probably right. Bronzer, Stain. Is Stain liner foundation? Are you sure? What's Stain? What is Stain? I don't know. Do I have an Updog account? Amazing. What's Updog? Hello, everyone. Drink some water, take your meds, clean your phone and your glasses. Change your sheets, take a shower. Oh, Terratrove, thank you for the one gifted as always. SJW Ord here. Welcome to the membership. Lipstain, thank you. Elab message just after that. Your decolonial theory reading, watching Avatar 3 several times a week. I haven't seen Avatar 2, mate, so I'm quite behind on the theory, but I'm doing the praxis IRL. I'm living Avatar 3. There's also, I mean, I've also, I've been put onto a great, what's this? Oh, wait. There's this account that Brace Belden always talks about called Decolonize Polyamory. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it here, but yeah. It sounds interesting. I've been working on decolonizing polyamory. So that's good. So well done to me. Well done to Chris K. Middle East. Okay, things I'd like to eat. Fiberglass. Okay, it's not that. Grim, I think this is like one with an extra letter. Homophones of words meaning gory? Oh, that's it, yeah. Okay. Grim. You know, it did sound like mostly, horror, Scary. What's Scary? Richard Scary. I've never heard Scary. I just thought it was horror words with an extra letter. But then Grizzly has, like, how do you spell grizzly as in, like, horror film grizzly? Anyway, who cares? Glass, tumbler, mug, Stein. Yeah, that's easy. Words that sound alike for, with the same meaning is a homophone, right? Same pronunciation, but different meaning. Sorry, I got it right. I got it wrong. See, I refuse to get it wrong. So, like, rain and rain would be an example. That's the example it wants to give me here. Okay, right. Gristly. Oh. Wow. I don't think I ever could have told you that Grizzly, that it was Grisly. Jesus Christ, that is so stupid. Putting the woke in phones. Yeah, homophones. Okay, right. We've definitely got a lot of interesting things to look into. I do have one source of real glee and enjoyment, and I am not dedicating, as I said, unless there's like some insane Ethan Klein thing. Like, he's always talking shit on his show until he does something really mental. I mean, they have been getting up to mental stuff, but I do at least have one cause for enjoyment or kind of comedy, which is, I'm sure some of you are still keeping up to date with him. Have any of you seen that they've started an after show with Girl with a Microphone and Epic Meal Times? They now have a H3 after show with these two people, which is insane. I mean, look how poorly it's done. I mean, after that episode, it's not really surprising. That episode in of itself has done incredibly poorly, but it is really just like unbelievable that they are doing this. Like, I don't know who that's for, because, like, first of all, you know, I actually can't believe it. There is actually a bit where they talk about him doing blackface, but you know how they were like sort of pretending to be woke for all of this time? That Harley guy has obviously done blackface. He's in a transphobic music rap video from not even long ago. He says, he's like an ultra Zionist who straight up just denies Israel killings. It's not even just like Ethan ones where he doesn't talk about them and stuff. He's also friends with Sam Hyde, who's literally a neo-Nazi. Like, Sam Hyde gave money to a neo-Nazi newspaper. Someone called them Egg and Bacon. Whoever came up with that is a genius. And by the way, she looks incredibly like an egg. It's really quite something. It's really quite something. I don't know why they would think that is going to save the H3 channel. And it's also really telling that those are probably some of the biggest creators that they could get. Like Epic Meal Times, whose channel is, you know, as someone with a 7 million subscribed channel, he doesn't even really make videos anymore. I don't know why. I think he has a podcast or something. Does he do, like, PKA or something? He went to Shambhala and did, like, a video there. Jesus. Really just odd. Just odd stuff. I don't know why you'd have it. They probably asked Amy Schumer first. I mean, I don't know who you do ask. I don't know how you end up with that. They used to get Hassan and Trisha. Now they get these high-level co-hosts. I mean, yeah, and it's just like Harley Morenstein, you know, however much his content may have fallen off and stuff, Harley Morenstein is still like a big creator in his own right. The only thing that Girl with a Microphone has done is she makes TikToks where she shouts at Trump supporters on TikTok. Like, that's it. Like, okay, fine, you've got a lot of views for that, but it's not really like, you know, I don't really know. I don't really think she does much other content creation in other times. Like, she's got a big ass TikTok, but, you know, it's no one watches anything apart from, I think, like, they're literally just her shouting at, there's a Johnny.
I keep seeing people on the internet saying, why does it feel like everyone's on Johnny Depp's side in this? Because she's shit in the bed, Janet. She's shit in the.
Oh, internet feminist lady. That's the only video she's had. Like, yeah, her videos of mostly that got her these followers are just this. Like, the only reason she's on this show is because she swore unwavering fealty to Ethan Klein, which is amazing. It's amazing. In the same league as Joe Rogan, but he can't help shoot himself in the foot. Well, it's a really interesting sort of choice to become, you know, it's a really interesting choice to become like a faux leftist and hang around with Hassan Piker. Like, he was very well aware that Hassan was a leftist, and it's just like, Christ almighty, you know, all of a sudden now you've been radicalized by a Jew-hating monster, apparently. So I don't know, really odd decision making from that. Like, pick a side, bro. And yeah, I mean, my favorite bit is where, like, you know, my favorite bit was when he was like going through that thing of reposting all of that stuff about what's his name, reposting Legal Mindset and stuff. The Omar attack was a 70 IQ diversion attempt. What does that mean? What do you mean, a 70 IQ diversion attempt? Jesus Christ, what is that? What is that statement out there from you? That's the first time you've ever commented on my channel. I'd be interested to know what a 70 IQ diversion attempt is. Because arguably Trump being, like, there is a correlation between having a degree at college and university, about having college university degrees and, like, being a leftist, basically. That categorically exists. So, like, and most people are going to be fans of Ilhan Omar are going to be people who have college degrees and stuff. I'm going to hazard a guess on that. However, simultaneously, when Trump was shot, the vast majority of people who watched Trump get shot and were like, this is the woke left trying to assassinate our good president, Donald J. Trump. He's going to save us. Are mostly people who probably didn't go to college because generally, I don't know, people who go to college support Trump, but simultaneously, I think a lot of people who support Trump are, you know, maybe didn't go to college. Who's going to tell them Ethan will screw them over? I think he'll just cancel the show unless he's, like, paying them to do that, you know. Paying them out of, like, the views they get, but the views will keep declining. Like, no one wants to watch either of them, and I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong, and they'll have Post Malone and Jesus Christ on next episode, and maybe even Freddie Mercury. Who knows? It could be that. Wow. So not being an idiot. I just kind of wanna kind of err on the side of caution, because I don't think saying shit like people are stupid and that's why they vote for Trump is really that good an argument when Hutch exists. Like, Hutch is someone who is like, and actually everyone who is like, you need to shut up and vote for Kamala Harris, because it's like, hey, sorry, what? Your expectation is just the same politics forever, and if you dare to say, I will withhold my vote unless you make changes, I have done something that is fundamentally wrong. That's not how democracy works. Democracy should not just be you being pressured into voting for someone who is slightly less bad than the other person, you know? Once again, someone who I think we're going to have on soon is Daniel Denver of The Dig. If you aren't already into The Dig is like a very good podcast if you like want to get like pretty high level education. They're the ones who ran Thowra, which is like up there, some of the highest level Middle East education that you can get outside of a university. In fact, it is pretty much to the standard of a university. It's really, really incredible. And like, he talks about it a lot. you know, Daniel talks about like a lot of this stuff to do with how we got here and stuff. And as an older leftist, it's interesting to hear from him. Sorry, I'm also just looking. I accidentally clicked on the wrong YouTube thing, and it's still on Harley Morenstein, and there's epic knuckle sandwich with Sam Hyde. By the way, also, I like there's a Sam Hyde video about like what should happen in the future, and I think there's a bit of a anti-Semitic racism in there. So it's a great guy. I'm tired of Kamala would have saved you. No, I think she would have just kicked the can down the road and maybe not been as bad as Donald Trump, but like, I don't know. I'm just seeing a Kamala edit right now. I'm seeing a Kamala fan. What even is this? Hold on, I'm gonna post I'm live. I am live on YouTube covering the wild Erika Kirk video, Trump's potential strike on Iran, and much, much more. Okay, right, what should we do first? Kamala would have saved us, you guys. We would all be at brunch if she won. Yeah, exactly. Brunch for 4 more years, and then Peter Thiel inspired techno mecha Hitler Elon Musk Grok militia army 4 years later. So, you know, it's kind of like a great world in which we live. Okay, right, sorry. Let's get into some other content. Oh yeah, I've seen this video provoking a lot of discourse, and I'm really, really interested. So this is Marie Camp Perez, which is it's an interesting name to say the least.
Shit's terrible, but we have to be strategic. And
she's a member of Congress, by the way. Starting with shit's terrible, but we have to be strategic is interesting.
Think clearly, and no one's talking about this fact. Like, ICE is pre-funded for 6 years. The reconciliation bill that was passed last January means ICE can keep doing this for 6 years. The money is not. They did it before the budget was passed. They're going to keep doing it if the budget isn't passed. And so the money's not the.
TrueAnon had some good stuff on this. Internal raids, Biden. Someone talked about basically how this stuff was led by Bavino on something called internal enforcement raids, I think. I'd recommend listening to TrueAnon. I was listening to this in the car yesterday. Raids. Greg Bavino. Bovine Greg was leading them. Border Patrol. But yeah, they were talking about how this stuff went on under Biden. So, you know, it's kind of bipartisan.
The question is, what leverage do Senate Dems have now to negotiate accountability right now to end this craziness? Like, I think they could negotiate to get Senate that,
This is an amazing video. I really don't get how this woman is a congresswoman.
I think they could negotiate to replace Noam with someone that doesn't skirt the filibuster. I think they could get ID numbers on federal law enforcement. I think they could get an end to the surge. I think they could get an investigation in Minnesota that wasn't run by the feds. I think they could get an end to the administrative warrant bullshit. There's stuff that is worth getting because the money is not the question at this point. It's pre-funded.
It's like how their response is basically just to put cameras on. Like that's it. They want to put cameras on, which will be a massive boon to this one company that funds certain Democrats. The truth is that's what they want to do. They'll put on these body cams and they'll be like, everything is fine, whilst ICE continues to torture and kill people, you know, inside their torture camps.
I know everyone feels terrible, like, but we have to be strategic right now.
This is such a shit video. How is she a congresswoman? She has I don't like the trim as well. Sorry, Glucy Camp.
Out of respect for you all spending your time here, replanting and rebuilding, and with a long memory. Actually, a friend of mine died recently who, she was the only person I knew who had a living memory of driving across the Columbia River when it froze. That used to be a thing that people did.
Oh, God. How do you win? How does that happen? Oh. Okay. Oh, wait. No. There's definitely some other great videos that I wanted to watch. Have any of you seen this video of Giancarlo Esposito, aka Gus from Breaking Bad, and Stan Edgar from The Boys talking about the need for revolution?
It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. This is time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. You know, some very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people, thus creating.
AKA Hank from Breaking Bad is suppressing a young businessman.
Creating a feeling of civil war in the streets, preparing the haters to hate, teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right, to kill. This is all a preparation for a very insidious problem that's happening in our world. And for me, I have to speak out that we will not be iced out. This is not going to happen. They can't take us all down.
Gus Fring is more based than pretty much every single Democrat. And I mean, I think that there's truth to this. Once again, I think it is so notable, the fact that there are like just these militants in the street, people in full military gear, just roaming around in American cities, killing civilians. Like, it's a surprising, like, civilians. They're just killing, someone said don't use the term civilians, just killing people in the street, you know?
The whole world showed up on Putin's doorstep or on the Iranians' doorstep or in Washington, it would they'll kill 550 million, however, but the rest of us would survive with a new, this is time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting.
Look, I really like how the context in which he's talking about a revolution in Iran is one that includes the US government. So that's kind of based. And yeah, you're right. Hank is suppressing a brown gay man's family-owned business. You're not wrong.
But we have to be strong enough to know that we can change the world. We have to change it from within. So if I'm spiritually ready and right, you know, and I'm ready to understand other people and to agree to disagree with them and say, okay, let's find the solution together, then that starts to change things. Not by deporting immigrants, not by killing brown and even white people on the street. It's crossing over now, and believe me, this is gonna really spark the nature of so many people who are gonna show up and say no more.
I love how he's more based than like fucking Hutch and stuff, or and all of this stuff. Like just being willing to say, oh no, we need fundamental change. Although probably maybe he'll just end up saying we need to turn up and vote.
Mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore.
Damn, bro. Damn. Yeah, Gomi and Hank are ACAB'd. It's from Variety. And yeah, he did run his business very well. I mean, if you understand, apparently his business was doing very well in the show. Like, apparently the chicken was very nice. Hank really liked the chicken. There's also this incredible video of Dr. Oz, which has been provoking a lot of commentary.
Buildings, they've got Cyrillic writing, Russian, Armenian writing. Both sides, there's lots of action, it seems. I don't know how many patients are getting care, but in this 4-block area in Los Angeles, there are 42 hospices. So either there are a lot of people dying here, or you've got a fraudulent activity that is so good that everyone wants to get in on it. I'm in Van Nuys in Los Angeles, and this boarded up area above my head here is a big hospice center. There are apparently quite a few hospices around here, 42 within a 4-block.
I don't find any of this like unbelievable that there's a lot of fraud going on in the US. I think there is a lot of fraud going on. I mean, the president is engaged in huge amounts of fraud. All his cronies around him are doing fraud. So the notion that there's fraud going on here, unsurprising. But yeah, a Turkish guy goes after Armenians. It's not surprising. I also love how like right-wing politicians are like, the Indians and Pakistanis bring their ethnic hatreds to our country in the UK, and then over in in the US, the country that all of our conservative politicians bootlick, it's just Dr. Oz like, I would like to see the Armenian community persecuted.
Radius, and these guys stole $16 million. Listen carefully. The main guy went to jail for 2 years for stealing $16 million, which is a good trade-off for a lot of folks. Anyway, if you look at it,
Trump has never gone to prison for the amount of the wild amount of financial crimes that he's committed.
it's pretty in the script. There wasn't anyone really in there. They weren't doing any services. They just got an address they could claim was a hospice, and then they ran the business claiming people were at home getting services, which they really weren't. What we have learned is there's roughly $3.5 billion of fraud taking place.
By the way, wasn't this guy like on TV and stuff? Dr. Oz. He was on TV, right? Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. I just accidentally spat my gum out slightly. Wasn't he on TV, right?
Here in Los Angeles, in hospice and home care.
Like, he's really bad in front of a camera.
It's run, quite a bit of it, by the Russian-Armenian mafia. You notice the lettering and language behind me is of that dialect. And it also highlights the fact that this is an organized crime, mafia deal, where you've got folks who have systemically recruited doctors to write false prescriptions, hundreds of doctors participating. They've got 100,000 patients who they've tricked or paid to give them their beneficiary numbers so they can perpetuate the fraud. And then the criminals are just running the whole organization and quickly scurrying away when law enforcement does get around to prosecuting them. Unfortunately, in California, there has not been a lot of attention on these problems. That's going to change.
What strike are you talking about? What strike on the 31st?
The U.S. Attorney, the FBI, everyone's now focused on the fact that in this state, which has about $30 billion worth of home and community-based services, most of it might be fraudulent. Those are big numbers, and we're taking it seriously. The president's not going to tolerate this anymore.
What a shitty video. Jesus Christ. Speaking of insanely shitty videos, Nick Shirley, I mean, you're all mentioning him. It is shit what Nick Shirley started. It's so stupid as well. It's all just so ridiculous that, this is taken seriously because some idiotic guy whose reporting has led to absolutely nothing because it was a load of crap is apparently just some amazing character. Sorry, it's apparently some amazing journalist who's done amazing things, and we need to go around and do this, go around and do all of this stuff and constantly film random people. But yeah, speaking of shitty videos, an incredible video has been leaked to the public by the world #1 journalist, Candace Owens. And in case you haven't noticed or heard of it yet, Candace Owens, I've never watched her stream. Candace Owens is not very good at reading.
So it was a philosophy class called Senior Sem, and he used to come in every day with a debacle, and he would ask us to just work through the philosophical question. I remember that whole debacle. This debacle with her earrings. The Hamptons debacle came up. The Brett Kavanaugh hearings and debacle involved in this entire debacle, okay? The FISA debacle. His recent non-vote on the FISA debacle. Kanye West debacle. Christ is King debacle.
Why is she saying it like this? Has anyone ever said it like that?
Get comfortable, you guys, because it is going to be a long week. I have so many explosive revelations to share with you. Philosophy class.
She does this quite a lot.
Coming out of racist ideas, right? It wasn't because people were just trying to delegitimize him. It was because this must just all be crazy rantings. Every day, Candace is up on this show like Miss Cleo from the 90s and just like predicting what she thinks happened. It's such a ridiculous way to try to delegitimize the research that we have done. Now, I don't know how you're able to comment. She pulled the...
It's incredible. Delegitimize.
Good old Barack Obama dropped a book, an autobiography that was meant to legitimize her to the black public. And everyone that should...
Legitimize?
The CEO...
Oh, this is the best
about
one.
The architecture, I want you to understand. Sitting there across from Alex Clark, like, her Catholic, no, he just liked the architecture. And I no longer...
This is all recent as well. This is incredible.
...accept him and Erika, and he liked the smells and the bells. He loved the architecture, but there was no more substance for him. It'd be like, yeah, no, like he loved the architecture of...
Yeah, but she has to be doing this deliberately. Maybe? I mean, these are from so many different places. I don't know.
...things, but beyond that, nothing was happening.
Perhaps, once again, it is because she understands the world in a way that we don't.
I think this may have been about more than the architecture. The architecture, the architecture of things, architecture, and the architecture. But really...
Incredible. Well... there's other crazy ones in here as well.
Oh,
wait. This is the only one we're going to watch.
I laughed out loud. Everybody uses the term blitzkrieg. And the NFL football team say blitzkrieg. Yes, it relates back to Germany. It's a bombardment strategy. So that's why we use it when you're going to bombard. And so I called it Blitzkrieg Week because we're just...
To be fair, the person quote tweeting her here talking about using blitzkrieg, there are many things you can say that Candace is anti-Semitic around, but that is not one at all, like saying blitzkrieg. I like how she refers to it as blitzkrieg. Okay, you can listen to Macabre, but...
We have to have, obviously. That's wrong. There's 1,000 ways that you can honor Charlie. Stop telling us that it has to always be Miss Macabre, like... We have to have the bloody mic, and it's like we don't actually have to have any of that.
To be fair, once again, at least she is pointing out something that's grotesque here, which is the fact that they had this at like the Turning Point meetup, like some shitty photo of Charlie, a ring light, and you could take a picture. Do you think you had to pay for that?
Obviously,
that is incredible. I really, I'd like to do that, but. Either way, Candace, with her brilliant journalism, has unearthed something that could be described as quite the clip, which is, it started off with something that was a 2-minute clip leaked last night as just audio, but now we have the full-on video footage of Erika Kirk on the 16th of September. Now, obviously, 6 days after... Charlie Kirk was taken with us. I know, like many of yourselves, you were in the stream at the time, and many of you were inconsolable. You kept trying to type, but it was mostly just tears coming out. Many of you just couldn't even cope, and you were very macabre, I think is the word. Macabre, I'm not sure. But Erika seemed not to be like that. And I must also remind people that this is 5 days after September the 11th, which for me, I have a whole week of mourning after September the 11th. I rewatch the footage. I do read some conspiracy theories. I then read some proper literature on it. I really it's a difficult time for me, and I would certainly not be able to call my subordinates and tell them about how happy I am. But Erika did.
Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet.
Look, once again, everyone grieves differently. And the first bit of this interview that was released was crazy. The first bit of this interview that was released was unbelievable. And the start is slightly better, but because she actually looks a bit sad. But I don't know.
I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost.
I think I'm going to need to turn this up. Hold on. I just think, like, the very open of just being, like, very happy and, like, thanks for the likes is really something 6 days after your husband has passed away, because I was more sad.
My heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also that you loved. You loved listening to his show. You loved hearing his wisdom on things. I'm sure some of you have also had very personal moments of where you sat down and
had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them. I want you to be able to tell your kids about them.
Oh my God.
I want you.
Also, by the way, beyond this, just inflating Charlie Kirk to this position. If you worked in proximity to Charlie Kirk and you are telling your kids about like stories about him being your boss, come on.
You to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the Turning Point USA family, because that's what we want. And like I said to our small group after whatever day that was that I did the thing on TV, how many days are still around Good Friday. I told the team, I said, Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted, and it'll be bigger than ever. And we're going to honor him by throwing.
Hold on, I don't know if this is messed up.
We're going to stay humble. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. And we're going to just make it grow. And we're going to keep our eyes fixed on heaven. And, you know, like even Stacey said, he's going to find ways to speak to us. And
it is also just crazy. It is absolutely, it's insane.
He's going to speak to you in different ways. Every person.
He's dead. He's not speaking to you. Charlie is not speaking to you or anyone. He is dead.
It's going to be different, but you'll get little moments where you're like, okay, Charlie, I see you. It might be here on campus. It might be in quiet moments of the night. But he's here, and he's more alive than ever. And he is, he's going to guide us. And we just have to remain humble. But again, what I told the team was, I will fight like hell to make sure that all of you have a job here. I don't want anyone to think the job's in jeopardy, because your family, if you want...
Do you think she's crying here about jobs and the potential collapse of the Turning Point USA?
If you choose to leave, that's different. I never...
Exactly, yeah. He came down and told you, sell hats with my name on, have a major funeral with fireworks for me.
Well, and I promise you, I will make sure that I never allow a point to where you have to leave because we cannot financially afford you. And that is a promise. I want our family to stay together the best it can. Obviously, circumstances, you know, things can be...
These are employees.
There's unforeseen things that might pop up here and there that we can't foresee in the future. But for right now, the way things are, I would like to remain if they are status quo. And I think that's the best thing to do. And everything else we can worry about later. But I just want to let you know that you guys are all very loved. I'm very proud of you. And Charlie would be, I think Charlie's just... I'm trying not to say that he would be... He's obviously celebrating in heaven.
No, he's no.
Amongst them.
Charlie Kirk would not be in heaven. Charlie Kirk enriched himself by increasing and furthering the suffering of minority groups that he did not like. That is what Charlie Kirk's politics revolved around. That's it.
Many things, but he's so proud of all of you. And he's so proud of all of you for keeping this mission alive. And he knows that you can do it. That's why you're hired. And he knows that you will be able to carry the torch.
No way. Carry the torch. Wait, was this before or after? We Are Charlie Kirk? By the way, the person who made We Are Charlie Kirk keeps fucking copyright striking old videos. Which is bullshit. I don't think you can copyright an AI song. So the no. No, 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 no. I've just made a discovery. She's talking about carrying the torch. Look what day We Are Charlie Kirk was released on. 16th of September. Look what date this was on.
And he knows that you're going to do a great job. And you're going to be able to, even though days are going to be tough, honestly, the nights are the hardest. Mornings are pretty raw too. But just what I've noticed these past several days is if I didn't have the family, the Turning Point USA family with me, all of you, I would be a disaster. I mean, I would be in fetal position 24/7. But the fact that we have a continued mission to look forward to, and we have our family.
By the way, I don't think this adds any weight to the notion that she had him killed, that she had pre-knowledge. I do think, though, it does add weight to the fact that I don't think she cared that much about Charlie. I really don't. I think Charlie Kirk was someone she was married to. She probably barely spent any time with him because he was constantly around. He was constantly with all these other people that weren't her and stuff. I don't think she really gives that much of a shit about him, I'm going to be honest. And now she gets like a huge company all to herself and love and respect from President Donald Trump. Like, Trump clearly didn't give a shit about Charlie Kirk. I mean, almost instantaneously he talked shit about Charlie Kirk.
It's everything. And some of you, this is your chosen family. And just rely and lean on each other. That's huge. Leaning on each other is huge because all of you were together prior.
It's also so funny that, like, once again, this seemed like such a significant political moment, right? That that there would be this like major crackdown against leftists and liberals, and they were going to come and crush everything. Nothing came out of it. No one seems to care at all. And this is like the most significant thing that's happened in months. Like, it's just videos of her fucking throwing hats out. Turning Point will probably die because it doesn't have Charlie Kirk anymore. And he'll be, he'll fade away and someone will replace him. That has nothing to do with Turning Point, probably.
To this, and we'll be together after this. And everything, and I told Justin this, it's going to be something where everything before September 10th, any email you were working on, any project you were working on, it's not that it's irrelevant now. It's just things have changed, obviously. And the mission has gotten deeper, and the mission will grow deeper. But like, I just want all of you to know, we will be wise stewards. We will be vigilant. We will be humble. And I just want you to know that, again, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well that this whole world knows what his
vision is very well known. It was just racism and bigotry. Like, once again, that's his thing. There's nothing significant to say about it. There's nothing significant to honor. There's so many other racist bigots who've walked this earth. Your husband was never special in the first place. Like, he was just a deeply, deeply racist and horrifying individual who grifted his entire life, who did nothing positive, who, in fact, for his recent resurgence on social media, openly talked about how TikTok boosted his videos during Trump's presidential campaign.
His vision was and will be, and it's just, I feel so blessed and honored. And we will do our best to continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he wanted it to be, this massive
behemoth.
thing. And it is, and that's why we have to stay humble. But I just want you guys to stay in prayer. And if you guys do need anything, please reach out to whoever you know to reach out to. And pray with one another. Be there with one another. Be soft with one another. Everyone grieves differently. So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. Weddings and funerals bring out the weirdest side in people.
I feel like preempting that is pretty comical. They couldn't crack down on a speech because of the ACLU. Maybe, but like, it really felt that there was going to be no holds barred. like that they were just going to engage in just a really strong crackdown, and they didn't. They didn't. It just felt like nothing came out of it, like nothing. Candace is obviously, Candace is someone who's an interesting character, to say the least.
Anyone who's been married knows that. So don't read into that. Just love on each other. And if there's anything or anyone who tries to divide your team or you, or that's just the enemy, and just rebuke it and know that there's a bigger mission at hand. And again, you guys are all very loved.
Bro, this is Tectone apology levels of fake crying. And imagine, she should have started going, my dad, Hassan Piker.
And I feel very honored, and I'm grateful for all of you. So I just wanted to take some time to hop on and share with you my condolences. I wish I could hug all of you. But again, the fact that there's a lot of them in the office on today. The fact that a lot of you guys are here in office, that's what he would. It's the mission. He doesn't want you to just be sitting on the couch alone in your room. He wants you to obviously.
I don't know. I also feel like, does anyone else think going back to work this early is weird? Like, really, really just unusual? Like, I don't know, this is 5 days, 6 days, sorry, 5 days after 9/11. Of course, you need a whole week off after that, as I said. But then also, like 6 days after your husband gets shot in a video that pretty much everyone in the world sees, that she probably watched herself, and like, the entire world is talking about, why would you go back to work? Why?
We will all mourn, but he would want you to build. And so that's what we'll do. We'll have a sword in one hand, and we'll have a hammer in the other. We're just going to build.
What did she say? Sword and a hammer?
Okay, I love you all. Deep breaths. Usha.
You're noting her eye makeup. That's actually from kissing JD Vance. His eye makeup has transferred over to hers.
I just wanted to share this with you all. I asked her when we were on the tarmac. I said, I don't know how to get through this. And she said, when you're on an airplane, and some of you have kids will really relate to this. Others that don't, you've been on a plane with kids, so you can also relate to this. But she said, when you're on an airplane and you're 15 minutes before landing and the kids are going crazy and you have 15 minutes left on the plane and they're throwing their toys and they're screaming, and you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it through these next 15 minutes? And then the plane lands. And Usha said, you're going to make it through those next 15 minutes. And the next 15 minutes after. And so I just want to share that with you because it was a very private moment.
She was with Usha Vance, and she was worried that JD was gonna. Sorry, she was with JD Vance, and she was worried Usha was gonna catch her by the eye makeup, so she needed to pretend that she was crying and putting on an insane amount of mascara.
But it gave me some peace to know that we can just do this 15 minutes at a time. So if that means at work when you're feeling a little bit, stop, take those 15 minutes, and you'll be okay. We're all gonna be okay. I love you guys. Have a great meeting. Is there anything else to do? It's good. You guys are loved. Love this little film with all the birds. It's so weird.
Just so odd. Just so odd. Like, a little moment like that where it just seems to go fully off, where she's just like, love the little birds. So there was another audio clip, which I thought was included in here, so I haven't pre-watched all of that. But, like, just sort of smiling and the sort of odd, whether she's fake crying or not, is interesting.
Hi,
Here's another part, apparently.
everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium overflow.
This is the worst part. This is the worst part. Why are you bragging about how successful the event was, like, just after your husband died? I don't know. Maybe you're talking... I don't know. I feel like some people around you might be like, oh, there was a good turnout to the funeral. But I feel like the grieving person would probably just be like... Maybe some grieving people would be like, oh, there was a good turnout. But I don't know. This just feels weird.
Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you...
And Knox, I think you're right. I don't think she had anything to do with Charlie's death. I'm yet to see any, even slight semblance of proof that... any semblance of proof that that is the case. Yet, here... Hear her just talking like this. She doesn't sound like someone who's upset.
Is it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to the events team, the development team.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This feels so weird. Like, just talking about the monetary aspect, talking about how much merch you've sold and stuff. It's odd. It's unusual.
The graphic design team, the production team, it's just phenomenal. Their incredible work leading into the memorial.
Don't actually love each other. It's all just a thing they go through, the motions of a good relationship. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It must... I can imagine that it wasn't, like, the best of relationships. I mean, she's dating fucking uber racist moron Charlie Kirk. I don't think that's the basis of a good relationship. I'm gonna come out and say it. I think Charlie Kirk's general conduct and his hate online shows you that he was a pretty castrated, pathetic individual. Like, I'm sorry. He hated and he spoke down to other people his entire life because he was a miserable, useless moron who was not particularly intelligent. His real talent was for being racist on the internet. That's it.
And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like, we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so, so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had...
Like, people responding to grief, like, people do have different responses, and I'm sure there are many people who don't stop working, who overwork themselves and all of this stuff, and I don't think that that's implausible, right? Like, at all. Yet, what I do find so unusual, what I do find so, like, difficult to contend with or kind of, like, understand is just this merch sales stuff. Like, why is that what you feel the need to talk about? And, like, posting a photo of your dead husband's hand is, I mean, insane. Like, do you remember that when she posted that incredibly, like, unusual photo of his, like, strange yellow dead hands? Like, oh, and then her crying on the casket. That's insane. Oh, I'm just looking at the photos now.
A role in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it. Just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this, and it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that you just, a simple thank you. I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past or have any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And
I don't know, I feel like this close to your husband's death, I think mentioning his death might actually make you a bit upset. I don't know.
It puts life into perspective of how short life is and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want.
Yeah, I mean, just someone also, I think actually Candace herself pointed out this strange tidbit from this video.
Family is, and Charlie loved that. He loved it.
I got a question for you on that topic.
I think Charlie liked grifting. I'm going to be frank, that's probably what drew them to each other, rather than love, rather than any of this stuff, or finding a meaningful relationship. I think what drew them together was probably just their love of grifting. And maybe, you know what? Maybe we're all talking this shit, but Charlie actually prepped her. He was like, Israel and the Mossad will assassinate me, and after that, you need to grift harder than ever. And she knew the plan. She knew the blueprint. By the way, also, the New York Times Book Deal Book Summit was this incredible space where Netanyahu was, amongst others.
Which is, I work with a number of fabulous female reporters, and we were talking about this interview coming up.
Okay.
And they said, they wanted me to ask you this, actually, because you've urged, as he has, women not to delay building families.
I beg your pardon?
You have urged women not to delay having families.
Right.
And you've talked about serving your husband. And
well, he served me also. He would ask, how can I serve you? We would ask it to each other.
And a number of them said, ask her, please ask her, how you think about your career, and now that you're going to be taking over Turning Point, and balancing family, and what your view is of that.
No, it's a great question. It's actually a very thoughtful question. I grew up with a mother who is an entrepreneur. It was her and I. My parents got divorced when I was very young, when I was 5. And I saw that as a blueprint. So that does not scare me, being a single mom, if you will, now, and running a company. There really is no such thing as balance. There's always going to be a give and take.
This really wasn't that far after he died. Like, I feel like that's an odd answer as well. I don't know.
But what this grieving process has taught me is that there is really no blueprint.
Yeah, dabbing the tissues on her eyes was just insane. I don't know.
Of what I'm going through. It's really...
And you guys are right, without the tissue becoming like wet, or like dabbing it straight up over and over again for 8 minutes is like, is really unbelievable.
A one-of-one type of situation. And it's interesting because when you view how pain can be morphed into a form of purpose that you see will outlive you, again, it puts into perspective that this isn't about me. This isn't about my life. This is about the legacy my husband left behind, but it's also about how we're fighting the good fight for our country. And when it comes to career, I will be fully transparent. I was fully bought into the boss babe. I mean, I lived in Manhattan. Charlie essentially plucked me out of the New York City orbit and was like, no, I have a healthier way of viewing things and looking at life and things like that. And
your husband did not have anything healthy about him. He was a grotesque individual. Hassan had a great post about this. My husband is dead. I don't want to remarry. I only want money. See my merch. Click here. Yeah, I mean, that second video where she's just like rabbiting on and on and on about how much merch she sold is truly, truly unbelievable. Like, I don't know. How are you doing that? Like, as your husband has just like died, and you know, someone made this point. I think it even may have been Hassan himself. Like, that is not just your husband died, right? For the rest of your kids' lives, if anyone figures out that they are Charlie Kirk's children, well, eventually they're going to be called Vance because they're, Erika and JD. That's the real power couple of the future, and their offspring will do heinous things. However, like, your husband has just died, and if anyone figures out that your kids are your kids and Charlie's kids, they're going to show that video to them if they ever fall out. And someone will ask them when they're at school, hey, have you seen this video of your dad getting shot in the neck? And they'll be like, what? No. Or maybe they'll have already seen it. They, at any time, are going to be able to see a video of their dad getting shot live forever, from time immemorial. It was all over Twitter. Or they're going to see memes of him with Jeffrey Epstein as a cyborg, as one I saw recently, with a fucking song by SD Kid over it, Missed by SD Kid. And it's like, I just, it's insane. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'd be quite sad and really shaken to my core, and maybe we shouldn't psychoanalyze people and try and guess exactly how they're feeling, but I do just think it's, like, quite odd. I do think it, talking about the merch, and then, like, the fact that a photo like this, just a few days after his death exists, like, she did, like, a WWE-style walkout. They might be base kids, yeah, her kids might be, like, her kids might agree with the message of fascist catch, perhaps, but I don't know. Erika Kirk, like, this video is just insane. For a gift of any amount, receive a We Are Charlie Kirk wristband. Like, I don't know, bro. What are your thoughts on the conspiracy theory that Israel played a role in his death? I don't understand. Okay, so if Israel wanted to kill a right-wing influencer who was more important in shaping Donald Trump's policy around Israel, they'd kill Tucker Carlson. Because Tucker Carlson, by the way, helped to dissuade Trump from attacking Israel in 2019. Like, because he was like, we don't want any more foreign wars, Mr. President. They would have killed him. But they didn't. Because they didn't kill Charlie Kirk either. Charlie Kirk was seemingly killed by a guy who grew up in a Republican family and was possibly, was dating a trans person, I believe, and probably felt that trans person was targeted by people like Charlie, who use their social media and platforms to sow hate and suffering against them. No, Tucker is too close to the CIA. He has protection. What do you mean they can't kill Tucker? Why can't they kill Tucker? Why do you think that they can't kill Tucker? If they got someone to shoot Charlie Kirk from, like, I don't know, quite a distance away, to the point where the vast majority of people are of the belief that actually he was killed by, this guy, Tyler Robinson, why couldn't they kill Tucker Carlson? Because it's illegal. Great point. He's besties with the CIA. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think that necessarily gives you that much protection, and nor do I think that Tucker Carlson is, like, entirely the best friend of the CIA. I don't think the person was trans or that they were dating. I'm pretty sure the trans thing. No. He was dating a trans person called Lance, I believe. Yes, but Tucker Carlson may be a little bit of a puppet, but what Tucker Carlson basically believes in, I mean, he was there at the Venezuela oil thing, but what Tucker Carlson believes in is basically that America should be more isolationist, that it shouldn't intervene in foreign conflicts, and that it shouldn't support Israel. He's probably happy with the Venezuela stuff because they did it so quickly and swiftly. Tucker Carlson is very anti-invasion of Iran and stuff, and he's a voice that Trump cares about to some extent. I mean, Trump may not have spoken to him, but he was at the Venezuela oil thing. Like, you could see him there. Hold on, I'm going to have a Zin. I'm going to have a Zin to calm me down after watching this beautiful video of our Erika. But no, I'm unconvinced. Like, I don't understand why Israel would have a need to kill Charlie Kirk. I don't get it. I genuinely don't. Tucker Carlson is indeed a repulsive individual, but what his position is on, like, I don't like foreign interventionism, basically, unless it's in like close proximity to America and done very quickly. Tucker Carlson is so racist that he doesn't want America to intervene in things because he thinks it will create more refugees that come to America. I mean, I think that like, I mean, the coming to America is problematic, right? Like, the problematic aspect of that in terms of why why his disdain for it is problematic. But I don't want people to be... It is utterly ridiculous. I don't want people to be made into refugees. I don't think it's, like, a nice experience for people. I don't. And also, I don't think that, like, countries in the close proximity should bear, like, such a huge brunt of so many refugees going into them, because that's where the vast majority of refugees go, predominantly to other countries in close proximity that don't have the ability to absorb them. Clay Ben Treese Jr., thanks for the $1. That's an incredibly kind donation. That's a legit reason. I think if you're just hating, he doesn't want migration. Yeah, that's the problematic aspect. But I just think, like, if you're saying, hey, I don't think people should be made into refugees, I don't think it's actually that problematic. I don't think countries should be destabilized and people should be forced out of them. I think that that's bad. He had massive influence over the exact kind of people Israel needs. Young conservatives. I believe Charlie Kirk was shifting on Israel, not out of principle, but because his audience was... Well, the thing is that already young Republican attitudes have changed massively on Israel. You can already see this stuff. Hold on. Here's an article. The survey of 1,287 Republicans found that a majority of Republican voters under the age of 45 say they would prefer to support a candidate who supports reducing taxpayer-funded weapons to Israel. 2028 Republican presidential primary, while just 27% prefer a candidate who would increase or maintain weapons to Israel. A majority of Republicans under 45 also oppose renewing current 10-year, $38 billion weapons agreement between the US and Israel. Young Republicans already feel pretty negative towards Israel, right? Like Charlie Kirk maybe would have offered a small swing in that, but I think, like, if you look into it, it's already changed. Qatari Oiler, thanks for the $4 and the little doge with a bone. I like that. Thank you very much for the very kind donation, and good to see you as always. Yeah, anyway, I think we're done with Erika Kirk today, and I don't really fancy delving more into who killed Charlie Kirk, because I already think, like, I don't know, I haven't seen anything convincing, and Candace's thoughts are so contrived and complex that I really don't understand at a certain point what she's even talking about. Okay, right. That is that. Oh, right. Okay, so in case you hadn't seen, as it turns out, Alex Pretty, the nurse who was killed by the Trump administration in Minnesota, was actually a violent domestic terrorist, and now Libs of TikTok has proven it. So that's unbelievable news. Hold on, let's have a look at this. Where is this? Hold on. Excuse me. Okay, right. So we got a video of Alex Pretty from the BBC.
Movement filmed on.
So here's Alex Pretty, and we'll learn more.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretty interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him.
That's quite a good kick. I'm gonna be frank here. He smashed the shit out of that wing mirror very quickly. Wing mirror, like rear light. This isn't an AI video, by the way. This isn't AI. This is a real video.
Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology
I believe the video was already public before he was shot.
confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis.
And that's exactly the point that I feel. This makes me like him more. Yes. I think like ultimately this makes him look way more based. Like, you know, he was filming nice, he was doing something that's a noble thing. But like the fact that people want you to believe that him kicking a car taillight is somehow indicative of him being some evil, violent thug worthy of death is truly amazing.
We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away,
what a kick!
The man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd.
Like, even in this fucking video, they're firing tear gas and pepper balls. First of all, they're not trained to use this stuff. I think that's pretty obvious. These are probably most likely white nationalist thugs who have gone around terrorizing immigrants, who run like literal torture centers where they abuse and kill and just enact horrifying violence and withhold medical treatment. And yet these people, like libs of TikTok and stuff, genuinely think a video of Alex Pretty fucking kicking a taillight is somehow gonna change people's opinions about him.
They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks.
It's a setup. They set up a taillight so they could kill him a few days later.
Away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretty was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene.
It's also fucking crazy that all these ICE agents saw his gun. Like, they all saw his gun, and they did nothing. This makes the case that the feds likely targeted him for execution after this. I mean, they've got that facial recognition software where they take a picture of you, so they probably had pictures of him, and they were like, known agitator.
On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Pretty, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Pretty was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street.
So they just gave up on arresting him. I don't know what the fuck these people are doing. These people are not trained. They're literally just... These are literally just violent thugs wandering around, doing whatever the hell they want. Someone kicking their taillight is a good thing. Yeah, I guess fuck ICE, but be nice to their cars. Oh yeah, 100%. They can't arrest people. No, but they can detain them, can't they? Yeah, he wanted to inflict maximum tailgate damage. What you got to realize is ICE agents are so perceptive that they actually know. They had like him on the database, and they knew he'd brought his gun to shoot their tail lights this time, so they just had to kill him, bro.
Shortly after the altercation we filmed here on January 13th, federal agents drove away. Soon after that, we left the scene.
Also, why is the tear gas not affecting people? Why is the tear gas? How is there like tear gas there and no one seems to be that affected? Like, why is that? Does anyone know? He ulted on the tail light. Yeah, I think he might have, Qatari Oiler. I think he may well have ulted on the tail light. By the way, the BBC's actually provided some analysis of the footage that doesn't show any of the violence. So I may actually show it because it seems pretty decent. But one thing I also wanted to say is like libs of TikToks are so fucking funny. Read her post. New footage appears to show Alex Pretty attacking and harassing law enforcement on January 13th. Democrats don't want you to see this. Yeah, Democrats don't want you to see this because it makes him look based, and it makes him look like someone who is engaging in protest that is not in the exact way that the Democrats would tell you. They would tell you, oh, we need to have dialogue with ICE. We need to have dialogue with Tom Homan, with Greg Bovino and all of these people. No, you don't. This person was protesting in a way that is justified with the way that these thugs behaved, and the violence that ICE inflict is far beyond the levels that he would ever be capable of doing, even if he shot multiple ICE agents. ICE are out here torturing and killing people, disappearing immigrants, medically neglecting them, and just engaging in the most horrible racially motivated profiling.
Alex Pretty was killed by federal agents on Saturday the 24th of January. He was shot in Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis, less than 3 weeks after Renee Good was also shot and killed by federal agents in the city. In the hours after Alex Pretty's death, the Trump administration offered this explanation.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
With that
just insane. Just insane that was actually said.
In mind, let's look at the available evidence about what happened that Saturday morning. The first video we have starts more than 6 minutes before the shooting. A woman is recording, and she sees federal agents approach a store called Glam Doll Donuts. With her is a man who's on the phone.
Democrats want body cameras which don't do anything so they can pretend that everything's okay. And so, as you say, that their Gestapo are slightly better trained.
More agents arrive. They're there to arrest a suspected illegal immigrant. They're about 25 meters from where Alex Pretty will be killed. Less than a minute after that, the man...
Why do you need so many of these heavily armed freaks to do all this?
And starts verbally abusing the agents. The man continues to shout. And then, 3 minutes and 23 seconds into this video, we see Alex Pretty. Soon afterwards, he's being pushed back by an agent. "Do not touch me," he shouts. The same moment is captured in another video, which starts a little earlier. Here's Alex Pretty in the road, holding a phone and face to face with the...
But, like, exactly, Homan is an Obama holdover. All of these politicians who criminalized and treated, spoke about immigrants in this discourse of, oh, they're criminals, they're threats, and we need to deal with this major threat that's tearing apart American society, led to this, right? Like, they laid the groundwork, they helped shift the Overton window, and Elab, yeah, you're right, because existing as an immigrant is the crime. Exactly. And that groundwork was laid by the Dems. You are all right to point out that, House Democrats voted for this shit. However, simultaneously, they laid the groundwork. They shifted the Overton window on this.
The federal agent.
He was shot for mogging.
Again, we see the agent push him, and Alex Pretty steps backwards. We can clearly see.
I don't think he was a veteran, by the way. I think he worked with veterans.
He has a phone in one hand, nothing in the other. Before we continue to assess the video evidence, keep in mind what the Trump administration said about two things: Alex Pretty's intentions and the nature of the protest in the street. We were told Alex Pretty was an assassin who tried to murder.
Stephen Miller is such a repugnant-looking character, and his statement is so pathetic.
Murder federal agents. We were told he intended to
massacre law enforcement.
And we were told this.
This is a violent riot when you have someone showing up with weapons and are using them to assault law enforcement officers.
The continuous video we have of the minutes before the shooting doesn't show anything that supports this. Here's another video. Alex Pretty is on the right. Once more, he has nothing in one hand, a phone in the other. Nearby are two people interacting with an agent. One has an orange rucksack, one has a brown coat. We see them both again in multiple videos, including this one, that shows the moments leading up to Alex Pretty being shot. Let's pause the video here. This is 33 seconds before the first shot is fired. An agent pushes the person with the brown coat, then pushes Alex Pretty, then pushes the person with the orange rucksack, who falls to the ground.
Just a violent fucking thug roaming around, masked up for no fucking reason.
Continuing, let's hear the Trump administration's account of the incident.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol.
Like, by the way, also, the other part of their discourse that is so pathetic is, have you seen this whole stuff about, like, how apparently ICE agents can't get served for a meal wherever they are and that they get whistled at and abused? It's pathetic.
Officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently.
There's no evidence that, at this point, the agents knew that Alex Pretty was armed. We see him step between the person with the orange rucksack and an agent. For a brief moment, he touches the agent near the waist. He's then pepper sprayed. We're now 27 seconds before the first shot is fired. He raises a hand as if to block the spray and then turns away, bending down, as if to help the person who the agent had pushed to the floor. The agent grabs his arm and starts to pull him away. As more agents arrive, they wrestle Alex Pretty to the ground. This is 9 seconds before...
Yeah, phones cause cancer, so that's the issue, the 5G rays. The agent that pushed him is the same one that beat him on the head when he was on the ground and also joined in shooting him after they'd been shot. Yeah, I mean, like, another story that really reflects this is, hold on. So, there was a shooting of a lady called Mariama Martinez, and one of the ICE agents was talking about how many times he'd shot her. Listen to this. Read it. 5 shots, 7 holes. I take pride in my shooting skills, was what the ICE agent said when he was asked in court. Another message said, I have a MOF amendment to add to my story. I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes. Put that in your book, boys. Miserable old fucker. Judge, miserable old fucker who is always trying to one-up someone wherever possible. It's unclear what exactly he was responding to. Like, these people just want to go and just shoot people.
Or he's shot. President Trump referred to Alex Pretty as a gunman. That description normally suggests someone who is...
By the way, they literally had to drop this case against Mariama Martinez because they handled it so badly. Like, these are just, as I say, these are just like unaccountable thugs roaming around shooting people.
Actively using a gun. None of the videos we've analysed show Alex Pretty holding a gun.
No, they're not different to IOF stories. Because, like, the problem with the Israeli military, and the problem with the American military and such as well, is they are pretty much totally unaccountable. Like, Trump pardoned so many fucking military war criminals.
Throughout these moments, he has a phone in his right hand and appears to be filming. As we return to the video, Alex Pretty is now surrounded by 8 agents. He's on his knees, bent over. We can clearly see his hands on the floor, and he's struggling against being held down. One agent repeatedly strikes in the direction of his head. Let's highlight another agent in a grey jacket. Note that his right hand is empty. He reaches down and removes what appears to be a gun from Alex Pretty's waistband. He then steps back, and the gun is clearly visible in his right hand. That gun appears to match this weapon, which was shown in an image shared by the authorities. And there are several things to note here. Carrying this type of gun is legal in Minnesota with a valid permit. The police say Alex Pretty had one. The FBI Director Kash Patel has implied it's illegal to bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest. But it's not. In Minnesota, it's not illegal to bring a loaded...
By the way, Kash Patel is so incompetent. It is amazing. You know, do you remember when we watched him? He was like bragging a few days ago about how well they'd done with like arresting Ryan Wedding, like a Canadian drug trafficker. So Kash Patel spoke about that publicly, but apparently the FBI's involvement in the operation was intended to be closely guarded as a secret. A US official said Mexico's laws ban foreign agents from being physically present in law enforcement operations on its soil and taking part in detentions or raids. The nationalist ruling party in Mexico is particularly sensitive to foreign interference, but on Friday, Kash Patel dropped a bombshell on X. Our FBI HRT teams executed with precision, discipline, and total professionalism alongside our Mexican partners to bring Ryan James Wedding back to face justice, he said using his elite squad initials. Mexican President Sheinbaum tried to defuse a potentially explosive situation. At her morning news conference, she challenged Patel's description of events, noting that there was no US involvement. Like, Kash Patel caused a diplomatic incident by being such an idiot.
Firearm to a protest. The head of...
Yeah, I know, hormone replacement therapy team.
The FBI got that completely wrong. Indeed, in the US, having a gun in your belt is not, in and of itself, considered a threat. As we saw, Alex Pretty's gun was removed. There's been no suggestion he was armed beyond this point. And as the gun is taken, we hear voices shouting. At this point, let's highlight another agent too. This one. He'll go on to fire the vast majority of the shots. But look, as other agents struggle with Alex Pretty, this agent is facing away. He then turns towards Alex Pretty. At this point, he has a clear view of the agent in the grey jacket who's about to remove the gun. The agent we're now focused on is wearing a black beanie hat, a black face covering, and sunglasses. He's facing towards Alex Pretty. We can't say definitively he sees the gun being removed, but he's facing in that direction, and the agent in the grey jacket turns away, holding Alex Pretty's gun. At almost exactly the same time, the agent in the black beanie hat draws his weapon, and the first shot is fired.
That is actually insane. Like, it is unbelievable.
You can see that he fired the second, third, and fourth shots. Alex Pretty collapses to the ground. The agent stepped back, standing clear of his motionless body. Another agent draws his gun and also points it at Alex Pretty. More shots are fired. None of the other agents can be seen to draw their firearms at any point. The agent who fired the first shots can be seen firing the final 3. In total, 10 shots were fired in 5 seconds. And the legality of this action is under scrutiny.
It is unconstitutional to use lethal force against someone who does not pose an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm to another person.
25 seconds after the final shot, agents kneel by Alex Pretty's body. One gestures towards another for something on the back of his body armor. 1 minute and 13 seconds after the final shot, we hear the agents talking about Alex Pretty's fire. And another agent arrives, slipping on the ice as he does.
Sorry. God, these people are so incompetent.
And there's an
and yeah, you're right, it's just a straight up execution.
Exchange with someone in the car where this video is being filmed.
We don't need that. It's a medical emergency.
Yeah, it is caused by you.
To reiterate, none of the videos we've analysed show Alex Pretty holding a gun. There's no available evidence that he was an assassin who tried to murder federal agents. No available evidence he intended to massacre law enforcement, nor that it was a violent riot. No available evidence that this was an individual who arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement. In these videos, we don't see evidence of what the Trump administration has been saying.
God, Jesus Christ. Look how bad Trump looks there. I mean, Kash Patel looks crazy. He always looks crazy. Stephen Miller looks odd. Christie is looking fantastic. And Trump looks just repugnant.
What the Trump administration has been saying. Footage shared with the BBC by the news movement appears to show Alex Pretty and other protesters in a confrontation with federal agents in the days after Renee Good's death. It's unclear exactly...
Yeah, like, once again, also, sorry, that was a detail I missed. This is after Renee Good got shot. Who blames him for going and kicking a fucking ice taillight? They just killed a random woman because they could. Some guy who's, like, been doing... By the way, also, once again, someone who's been a 10-year veteran of the equivalent of ICE SWAT teams.
What the agents were doing. This man has the same coat, facial hair and gait as Alex Pretty, and a facial recognition tool suggests a 97% match. We see him shouting abuse at the agents. He also motions to spit at a federal agent in a car, and then kicks the rear light of the car, twice.
By the way, in the analysis of his death, I'm not sure why this matters.
Agents then wrestle him to the ground. He's then allowed to get up, and as he does, a gun can be seen in his waist.
It's fucking crazy as well that so many of these people saw the gun and just did nothing during this situation. But yet then, like a later one, they end up shooting him.
It's in the same position as the gun Alex Pretty was carrying on the day he was killed. This earlier incident, shown in the video shared with the BBC, happened at the intersection of Park Avenue and East 36th Street. 11 days later, Alex Pretty was shot dead, just over 2 kilometres away, on Nicollet Avenue. His killing, and the Trump administration's unsubstantiated claims about what happened, have provided another test of what Americans will and won't accept from the federal government.
It depends which Americans you're talking about. Did any of you see that fucking clip of Tim Pool?
When these people come out and go...
Him talking about being a bootlicker.
First of all, when these people come out and go, Tim's a bootlicker for defending us, I'm like, no, you misunderstand. It's my boots. It's mine. I voted for them. I'm wearing the boot.
God, is that a photo of... Is that like a bobblehead of Trump being a Terminator? That is not your boot, my friend. You are a pathetic individual.
I'm stomping on the ground.
I'm stomping on the ground.
Licking anybody. I'm clapping for these people that I said, please go out and enforce the law.
This is like the only demographic that this will win with. Like, very strange sort of terminally online weirdos who want to see libtards getting killed.
And anybody else who's cheering for it, who voted for it too, we're all wearing the boots. You're the one crying. You're the one saying, you're coming simply. First of all...
Wow. So good to hear from him. So good to hear what he has to say about this. I mean, it seemingly is, by the way, that ICE have now actually pulled back. That they've pulled back from Minneapolis. But yeah, you're right. This is pathetic. This is just utterly pathetic. And of course he's licking the boot. Like, these people are ostensibly obsessed with freedom and a retreat from, like, an evil big government who controls your life, who decides what you can and can't say, who inflicts arbitrary violence on you on the basis of whether, you know, you're deemed to be behaving in the correct or incorrect way. Yet when they see it actually happen, they love it. They love it. Has Asmongold changed his tune on this? Because I swear even Asmongold didn't like this. Not a fan of that term. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I think I'm just repeating it, and I don't obviously use that term. Oh, I've accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. I don't obviously use that term to talk about liberals. I'm using it specifically here in the context of what these people want. Like, you know, I that's why they say it. That's what they're talking about. They want to see people getting owned. I suppose I should just say libs. So apologies for that. But it's not a term that I really like. Hold on. Right. let me just, hold on. They're now talking about how ICE is going to change its actions with the border czar, Tom Homan.
Too early, isn't it? Look, I've been given talking points, and I don't like reading speeches, never have. But my chief of staff did put some stuff down here in writing just to make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm going to be reading a little bit, then we're going to open up for questions. I've been on the ground less than 3 full days. I got in here on Monday. President of the United States called me Monday morning and asked me to deploy here. Got here Monday evening, and I'm staying till the problem's gone. But we've made a lot of progress in the last.
I genuinely cannot. Yeah, you're right. He can barely talk. I genuinely cannot believe how much fucking insanity a stupid Nick Shirley video has caused. I mean, obviously, it's like Tim Waltz's constituency, so that's obviously a place that they're going to be interested in targeting. Like, undeniably, that's what they're going to be interested in part. But also just that Nick Shirley video formed so much of the basis of it.
3 days. Marcos Charles, he's running ICE operations here. There you go. Rodney Scott, Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, standing here beside me. Good morning, I'm Tom Homan on the Borders.
Yeah, of course. Like, that's the thing. This is Obama's hero. Like, honestly, I would recommend that you listen to Deportation Nation by The Dig. Like, just listening to that, Daniel Denver talks about how many people were like, didn't want to talk about Obama's immigration policy because Obama was a black Democratic president. Like, they just were like, oh my God, I can't believe that deportation is going up so much. He's the one who created who rolled out the Safer Communities Act. Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Just look into it.
For President Trump. I'm here on behalf of the President, along with U.S. Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Rodney Scott, and Marcos Charles, who's leading the enforcement effort here right now. I've been on the ground since Monday to regain law and order in the city beloved by many, and work together to remove threats from the community.
It is utterly ridiculous. It's always good. It's always a good sign when a government official named Thumb starts his speech with, I don't like Rune. Yeah, I mean, it's a good sign from, as many of you have pointed out, a man who does look a bit like an ogre. And Virtuous Path, thank you for the $5 and the great comment.
During the past administration, we'll all remember, more than 10 million illegal aliens entered this nation. Many were national security threats, public safety threats. We can't remember over 2 million known gotaways. 2 million people who paid more to get away. Why? That should scare the hell out of everybody. President Trump promised American people, including the residents of Minnesota, that he would work to ensure our communities are safe. And with that, this administration is absolutely focused on identifying removal aliens that pose a public safety threat and national security threats. And the numbers prove it. The data proves it. In the past few days, I've met with Governor Walz, Attorney General Ellison, Mayor Frey, numerous police chiefs and sheriffs, and I have more to meet. I'll also be continuing the dialogue with business and religious leaders in partnership in Minnesota.
Sorry, if you want to see one of the things that it's called the Secure Communities, apologies. This was the thing where the program was designed to check the immigration status of every single person arrested by local police anywhere in the country. As part of the program, fingerprints that are taken upon arrest, which are traditionally forwarded to the FBI, are then also forwarded to DHS. If these fingerprints match the DHS's automated biometric identification system, then ICE district officials decide whether or not to issue a detainer request, which can include requesting that the person be detained for up to 48 hours, or a request ICE to be notified upon their release. So this is something that was passed and like put into force by Obama. Amazing. Like it was piloted under Bush, and then it was just thrown into full force by Barack Obama and expanded. Ogres have layers. Yes, I didn't think of that. Dwight Langston. I don't know why I called you Dwight. Thanks for the £2. But yeah, he does have layers. He's a complex individual.
Your community leaders. I'll be meeting with them too, because I want to hear what they have to say. In my meetings with folks so far, and most importantly, the governor and the AG, the Mayor Fry, we didn't agree on everything. I didn't expect to agree on anything. I've heard many people want to know why we're talking to people who they don't consider friends to the administration. Bottom line is you can't fix problems if you don't have discussions.
Also, by the way, I really, really, really love how, like, he's like, oh, you need to have discussions. We're not going to agree on everything. Donald Trump called Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who's now conversing with this guy, chatting with him. Donald Trump called Tim Walz seriously R-worded not long ago. He called him the seriously R-worded governor of Minnesota.
I didn't come to Minnesota for photo ops or headlines. You haven't seen me. I came here to seek solutions, and that's what we're going to do. And we've come a long way, and we got some good wins for the people of Minnesota, I think, and for the administration and for the safety security of this city. One thing we did agree on, though, everybody I talked to agreed on, was that community safety is paramount. One thing we all agreed on was U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement is a legitimate law enforcement agency that has a duty to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and keep this community safe.
Jesus Christ. He's a very horrible speaker as well.
Like I've said many times for the last several years, even before this administration, jurisdictions that refuse to cooperate with federal immigration authorities are sanctuaries for criminals. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals and endangers the residents of the community.
I think that there are bigger dangers that most Americans face than immigrants, but you know, who cares? These people are just going to keep on saying this crap. Is he drunk? No, unfortunately, I think this is just him.
To be clear, we did not agree with Minnesota state and local officials that they would be involved in immigration enforcement. I didn't ask them to be immigration officers. I'm asking them to be cops working with the cops to help us take criminal aliens off the street.
This obsession with the term alien is particularly repugnant to me.
What we did agree upon is not to release public safety arrests back in the community, and they could be lawfully transferred to ICE. I'll speak more about that. I will highlight that the Minnesota State Prison System under the Department of Corrections have been honoring ICE detainers. And we appreciate that important collaboration, and we're going to expand upon that.
Jesus Christ, I can't even listen to this guy. We'll listen to some of his interactions with the press, but my God, I had that down. Oh my God. Trying to listen to a long statement of his is really quite something.
This is common sense cooperation that allows us to draw down on the number of people we have here. Yes, I said it.
How is immigrants are to blame different from the Jews are to blame? It's not at all, by the way. All the people, and like when people talk about grand conspiracies about Jewish people, the way in which anti-Semitism used to operate in the context of most European societies was they would blame Jewish people for social ills, for decline, and all of this stuff. They have literally just transferred that kind of bigotry onto immigrants.
Draw down the number of people here. Because we have the efficiency and safety of the jails and the prison.
Like, oh, just Jesus Christ. It's just, Like, this guy coming and, like, being like, oh, I'm here to do things differently.
Think
Listen
about-
to this bit. Listen to this bit.
How many ICE and how many Border Patrol agents are currently operating in the state?
I think we're near 3,000. There's been some rotations. Another thing I witnessed when I came here, I'll share this with you.
That is actually what he looks like. He looks like the troll that tried to kill Hermione in the Chamber of Secrets. You're right. He actually does look like the troll at the start of the Chamber of Secrets. Isn't that Hagrid's brother?
Yeah. I've met with a lot of people, a lot of the agents. They've been in theater. Some of these people have been in theater for 8 months. So there's going to be rotations of personnel. Hopefully less now that we have some agreements. Maybe we can make it more efficient and safe. But they've been in theater a long time. And so, you know, there's rotations happen all the time to get people out here and go home. Get
Hold on. I'm gonna crank the volume on this one.
some rest and see their families. Day after day, you can't eat in restaurants. Day after day, having people spit on you and blow whistles at you. Day after day.
Good. That's what they deserve. 3,000 armed, heavily armed, highly militarized white nationalists descending on your city is horrifying. They deserve not to eat. They deserve to be whistled at. They deserve to be spat at. They are repugnant.
All these threats at you, day after day, having people trying to interfere with you, day after day. You know, they're human. So, you know, we've got to rotate these people, and we've already rotated some. But my main focus now is drawdown, based upon the great conversations I've had with your state and local leaders. Again, I'm not a fool. I'm not walking away without seeing this put in place. But I take the word of the people I met with. I think they're honest, and I think they're good brokers, that they want public safety protected, and they also want what's happening in the city to go away. And that's my goal.
I mean, perhaps they will. Perhaps removing Bovino is just theatre. Greg Bovino, by the way, is crazy. There's a question about Bovino here. But did you know Greg Bovino is really active on Twitter? And he'll tell you that he will, like... Greg Bovino will, like, respond to you following if he likes you. He replies to, like, random people on Twitter in the middle of the workday. Look at these. Just got followed by the legend commander of ICE. I am honored to follow you, sir. Charlie Mike. Lol, I couldn't help it. I used to do a lot of trapping and figured I'd ask. I wish more folks would wear fur coats. They look the best. Better than my trench coat. Working on a bearskin fur coat for wear one of these days. You are one of my favorite person to follow. I wish I had 10,000 more like you protecting us. Stay safe and God bless. Following. Believe it or not, CMDROP, Greg Bovino, you are a hero in so many eyes. I am sad to see what is happening to you all in my home state. Keep up the great work, Mr. Bovino. Following. God bless and thank you. Following. Thank you. Following. Following you. Following. He will reply to, like, random accounts on Twitter. There's another one here. Someone, and he noted that he referenced her bio. These people are like K-pop Taylor Swift fans. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong about that. Here's another one. This Green Bean 1775 said, I love this. Following, if some of these folks had only been homeschooled. So apparently he's referencing her bio, so it's indicative of the fact that he's actually looking into the account. Here's another interaction he has. We are truly grateful to have met this gentleman and his compatriots on our first day. We will work hard for these taxpayers and we'll be back to visit them soon and see how things are going. American flag. I assume that this is something to do with someone selling alligators. I don't know why he's posted that. Let me know when you're coming. We can set something up in Austin too. You just don't know how happy Black Chicago is to see you. Thank you so much for coming to save us. God bless your mission. Thank you and God bless you too. We'll be back and would love to meet up in Austin. OMG, thank you. I'll be here when you're ready. This is such an honor. Yes, Mom. The honor of meeting you will be epic. How can I book... thank you so much on behalf of the West Side of Chicago. Thank you, P-Ray. Good to hear from you. How can I book you for an event to explain your purpose to our community? Mom, can you DM contact information? As usual, a pleasure hearing from you. He seems to have like a great relationship with this person. He's just getting paid insane money to tweet and just be a thug. So here he is talking about reporters somehow left out the part where this woman grabbed at the law enforcement. They always seem to leave out the assault part, don't they? This rioter attacked our agent, attempting to unmask him. We are currently working to identify and prosecute her. Stay tuned. Fuck around, find out. DHS. Is that officer in the back holding a tear gas canister? Really? Seems like that part was left out. Maybe I'm wrong. If you saw it, then how was it left out? Oh, what is this one? Proud of the mean green machine as you faced an extremely dangerous situation in Cicero, Illinois, and won. Well done. More to come. You are going to answer for your crimes, motherfucker. Your day of reckoning is Tuesday. Hashtag ICE is a terrorist organization. Still waiting on that answer. Cat got your tongue? I like how he uses emojis. He's a good emoji user. Yeah, he's asking that lady for her number. He has got Riz. I think it's fair enough to say. Oh my God. This US citizen thought it was a good idea to use her car as a 4,000-pound weapon against our agents. We'll hit back with as many consequences as we can. When our agents were driving away from the scene of an enforcement operation, she drove aggressively. Is this Mariama Martinez? Hold on, let me just have a look at this. Grok is offering me an opportunity to edit the image, so that's interesting. Let's have a look at this one. It's so sad the depths of derangement many Americans have been brainwashed into. Couple that with little to no punishment, i.e. soft on crime policies like California, and you've got a ticking time bomb with zero fucks to give. God bless the men and women of law enforcement. Thank you, Conscious. Can't hide the fact you're scum racist trash with incredibly low IQs. You are animals. Howie, how are you? God bless you, my friend. Thank you for visiting this site. Well played. Thanks, Cat. I was just catting around with him. This guy is insane. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. What is this? I'm crushing on him. No fucking way. He's just there responding with emojis. Ugh.
Large Chicago is under
Oh God, enough. I'm not listening to any more of that. But listen to this guy actually speak. He's a little racist degenerate.
Arrest as many people that touch you as you want to. Those are the general orders all the way to the top. Everybody fucking gets it if they touch you.
By the way, this is definitely what Stephen Miller is just. Stephen Miller is like Grima Wormtongue. And he's like Sauron or the Rohirrim. No, wait. The Rohirrim king who's like under the spell. Theoden under the spell. I mean, actually, there's maybe a very apt comparison in that. This is poor Donald Trump at this point. He's become like a grotesque individual, and Stephen Miller is Grima Wormtongue without the wig on. And he's whispering in Trump's ear, telling him, "You must give the border agents a right to do anything."
You hear what I'm saying? Less legals. We're going to look at shipping tractor trailer loads of that shit in here. So you catch what it's all about us now. It ain't about them. Professional, legal, ethical, moral. You know what we're talking about. Legal, ethical, moral. You're on camera. But other than...
Like this guy who he stood next to. Right? is just someone with a fucking, like, full-on tactical gear on. That looks like someone who's going to raid and kill Osama bin Laden. Not someone who's just, like, in a city to arrest illegal migrants, apparently.
That's what we do. What city is it, Chief? It's fucking our fucking city.
He's so lame when he says that. Whose city is it, Chief?
What city is it, Chief?
It's fucking our city.
It's our fucking city.
It's our fucking city. Look at this guy. Oh my God. Who is this guy? This guy is tiny. What? Who is this guy? They got gremlin. They got gnomes working on the enforcement. God damn it. This guy. What the hell? Oh my God. Sorry, we need to get back over there. We need to slow this down. This feels like a leprechaun sighting in real life.
What city is it, Chief? It's fucking our city.
It's fucking our city.
It's our fucking city.
Let's just slow this down. Let's slow this down. Yeah, this could be the first real leprechaun spotted. Wait, because Greg Bavino's like slightly down here. This guy's hunched down, and he looks like this guy looks like you know, quite a bit taller than Bavino. Well, not that much taller than Bavino, hunched down. Compared to this guy, oh my goodness. This guy, what the hell? How did he get there? Who is this guy? Ugh. Right, we'll watch this now.
Mr. Holman, how did we get here? In terms of, you had Greg Bavino, who was the face of this immigration operation. The mission, as you say, to having border patrol agents in the interior of this country, stopping U.S. citizens, asking them for ID, creating this fear in places like Chicago, and now here. And then finally, it took really the death of Alex Petty for us to get here. How did that happen? Who made the decisions to allow...
He thinks they're deporting people who've invaded his garden pond and prevented him from fishing.
This kind of operation to proceed in this way and to create such fear.
Well, like the Border Patrol, last 4 years under Joe Biden, we had an open border where 10, 12,000 people a day are coming across the border. Border Patrol got overwhelmed, which means we sent thousands of ICE.
By the way, there's literally been this report on the UK suppresses climate change report. There's been like a UK climate change report suppressed, right? Channel 4 had like a short video about this. And one of the things they noted as apparently a national security issue is climate change is quite likely to threaten our food, but it's also quite likely to cause huge mass migration. That's what these people are preparing for, by the way, and securing a border at a point where loads of people try to move to places because they're starving. There's the great Gustavo Petro quote about this, of he's like, what we're seeing in Gaza is a rehearsal for what's going to happen elsewhere in the world. They're learning how to deal with mass restive crowds who don't support their extremely violent deportation operations. They're normalizing extremely violent thugs being out on the street and going around like harming and killing people in like full military gear, so people get used to it, you know, so they can see unarmed people just being killed. I don't know where they're finding these people. These are the kind of people, this is why they want Greenland. They're pretty convinced that like people like Greg Bavino and Tom Homan might be living in the ice under there. As the ice caps melt, they think that maybe some more Neanderthals will come out who can staff ice with these guys.
Agents down there to help deal with that humanitarian crisis, to help secure the border.
That's also probably why all of this shit is bipartisan in part, because they know that that's coming.
Now we have millions of people released in this nation, many unvetted. Now we got to find them. Before the big, beautiful bill, we had a total just under 5,000 deportation officers to look for millions of people, many in public safety threats. So yes, we needed Border Patrol to come and help on our mission now. And reason for the massive deployment is because of the threats, because of the violence. Our officers need to be protected. If I'm on an operation, an arrest team, I'm going to a house, I got to be busy with that guy, the dangerous guy, and I can't keep looking over my shoulder at what's happening outside the house. So we brought extra resources in to provide that.
Bro, I have no idea what he's fucking saying.
That security. And as I said, as we drill down on these great agreements we got and this great understanding we have means less. So we can draw down those resources. When the violence decreases, we can draw down those resources. But based on the discussions I've had with the governor and the AG, we can start drawing down those resources as far as those looking for public.
No, I think I've had enough out of him. I think I've definitely had enough out of this moron. So we've got a few stories. Actually, you know what? Let's move on to the Ilhan Omar story. So I'm sure that many of you saw recently that Ilhan Omar was attacked whilst at like a town hall meeting in Minneapolis. And this strange man sort of emerged from the crowd who, it's bizarre, this story.
To resign or face impeachment?
I like how she goes to punch him.
I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue. No.
They're all, Trump and stuff are trying to claim that this is staged. It's obviously not.
You need to go get checked.
No, we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it.
You need to go get checked. No, you don't know what.
Secretary.
Fair play to Ilhan Omar. You are right. She took it like an absolute champ and then literally is about to go and smack the guy about, which is
It is utterly
which is really
ridiculous.
quite something. Cheers, Chris. Thanks for the £2, Zerks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching and such. But yeah, so the guy who sprayed her is pretty interesting. Someone posted like a breakdown of his life that's available through social media. So it starts in 2009 with the way that all the best stories do, with a divorce, and then DWI in 2009, and then in 2010 DWI. Is that a driving under the influence? What is a DWI? Meaning US. No, DUI. No, driving while intoxicated. Okay, driving under the influence is a DUI. He's then sued in 2014 for $11.3 thousand of debt. He's divorced for a second time in 2017. Court filings reveal that he was unemployed and received $39,000 disability. He had no retirement plan, or plan. His Lexus was stolen, and he had over $10,000 loan and credit to his debt. Best friend dies, sorry to hear about that, in 2021. Then in 2021, he attempts to troll his local Nextdoor group about Kamala for his first political posting. Then again in 2021, he posts a political cartoon about Ilhan Omar. In 2022, he purchases a Glock 43X. That's just unbelievable, really. He has 10 DWIs. That is also unbelievable. The fact that he got a Glock is really interesting. They mistakenly reported driving without insurance. This guy actually has 10 DUIs. Oh, driving without insurance. Oh, okay. Then he says last new photo with his daughters on Facebook. One has since moved out. Other appears to still be involuntarily committed. One calls themselves gender fluid in their Instagram bios. Other uses she/they pronouns. So, you know, he's been a victim of the woke mind virus. He is then also sued. Oh no, sorry. There's another public interaction he does with his daughter girlfriend on Facebook. Does not post again until 9/21/23. Significantly less activity after he returns. Majority of posts are old photos re-uploaded. He's then sued for $1,000 debt. His daughter is involuntarily committed for mental illness and chemical dependency. I don't really feel like reading that out. It doesn't really feel that relevant, you know. Oh wait, answers questions on Cora pushing election fraud, conspiracy, expressing hatred for the Democrats, says he feels sick at the thought of Biden winning, asks when descendants of slaves will pay reparations to descendants of Union soldiers for freeing them. By the way, he had a black girlfriend as well, which is unbelievable, and this is the kind of racist shit he's posting on Facebook. Once again, just another person with like a totally incoherent ideology. And you're right, he seemingly has a a lot of problems going on in his life. He's sued for $1,200 debt. His then daughter is involuntarily commitment extended. Oh, okay. Creates Twitter account. Andy's right. So that's probably his... Okay, so this is where the real racism starts emerging. Gets even worse. He says on the 8th of the 8th, 2025, he tweets frustration about black people reproducing. By the way, also, I think it's pretty notable that Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter comes round somewhere here. Like, he's an old guy, probably in part radicalized by the insanity of Twitter and the way in which it makes you feel comfortable expressing absolutely insane and repugnant views, because these things are clearly boosted by Elon Musk and his friends. He has another account on here that you can find. I don't know if the Andy's Right account is gone. Hold on, I'll tell you now. There is another account called with the same name. Let me see if I can hold on. Oh, no, his account is still there. He did, by the way, he posted happily about the invasion of Venezuela.
Around 1,000.
I'm just looking what he likes. He just posts a lot about black people, really. Oh, no, it seems a lot of his posts are gone. Okay, interesting. But yeah, his account is still active. Okay, more racist tweets calling black people evil beasts. Makes President Trump his Facebook profile picture on 9/11/2025. And then on 9/21/25, this is a day I'm sure we all did the same thing, he makes President Trump and Erika Kirk his Facebook profile picture. On the 11th of the 14th, 25, he tweets that black people are reverting to apes. On the 28th of December, 2025, probably a difficult time for a dying person, like a divorced person, excuse me, he tweets dismay at lack of Somalis arrested by ICE in Minneapolis. On the 29th of the 25th, he tweets that white people are genetically superior to blacks. Also tweets further dismay that black people are reproducing. He tweets about and justifies Renee Good shooting, and then he rushes Ilhan Omar. Right, the most interesting part of all of this is, the clear step up in radicalization from some point around seemingly 2022. I mean, he literally had a black girlfriend, which, by the way, there are plenty of racists with non-white girlfriends. However, simultaneously, the level of radicalization where he gets up to here, I do not think it can be discounted that, Elon Musk, a billionaire that so many people look up to, who think is some kind of uber genius, amazing guy, is actually, is someone to listen to, who's regularly tweeting out anti-Semitic shit, white replacement, great replacement conspiracy theories, doing fucking Hitler salutes. But I think in the context of, Ilhan Omar, it cannot be denied that Trump's rhetoric in particular has played such a major role in this.
And they can...
he's over and over again just said
And Somalia is it's not a nation.
Hold on, let me see if I can, I'll just pull up Trump's Davos speech. Give me a second. By the way, did you know Trump at Davos was allotted 45 minutes to speak, and he decided to speak for an hour and a half. Just a rambling rant about windmills and crap. Listen to this. Just a few days before Ilhan Omar is targeted.
Cracking down on more than $19 billion in fraud that was stolen by Somalian bandits. Can you believe that they turned out to be higher IQ than we thought? I always say these are low IQ people. How did they go into Minnesota and steal all that money? And we have, they're pirates, they're good pirates, right? But we shoot them out of the water just like we shoot the drug boats out. They're not pirating too many boats lately, do you notice? When they go out into those boats, they want to take over $1.5 billion.
So, yeah, Trump's rhetoric about Somalis and the way in which he's obsessed with
It is utterly ridiculous.
Ilhan Omar plays such a big role in this shit. Fuck ICE, free Palestine. Qatari Oiler, thanks for the $10, an incredibly kind donation. And yeah, fuck ICE indeed, and free Palestine. Trump, Ilhan Omar. He claimed that she sprayed herself. The guy is insane. And also, people pointed out, it's kind of funny that he went straight to faking it, because those assassination attempts, still a bit weird that we don't know really much about the people who allegedly tried to assassinate Trump and stuff, and incredible. But yeah, this is a Trump tweet from the 1st to the 18th.
Orangutan. That's fake news.
I don't know what that is. There is $19 billion in Minnesota. Somalia fraud. Fake congresswoman. Ilhan Omar, a constant complainer who hates the USA, knows everything there is to know. She should be in jail, or even worse punishment. What is an even worse punishment? What, sending her to one of your ICE detention torture centers? Or killing her? Like, what? Sent back to Somalia. Okay, that's the punishment. Again, I keep misreading this, but still. He is sent back to Somalia. It's just disgusting. Considered one of the absolutely worst countries in the world. She could help to make Somalia great again. It's just like, oh, it's just repugnant. And this was Trump's statement on the matter. I think she's a fraud. She probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. Yeah, and also, yeah, decrying her as a constant complainer. Trump is someone who just whines and complains about everything. Apparently, this is Trump a few hours before the
They
attack.
have to show that they can love our country. They have to be proud. Not like Ilhan Omar. Did you see that wise guy? She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with the following. The Constitution, she comes from a country that's a disaster.
By the way, this definitely wasn't right before, but this is how he's been talking about her for the longest time.
Probably it's considered, I think, it's not even a country, okay? It barely has a government. I don't think it does. They go to one thing, pirates. But they don't do that anymore. You know why? Because they get the same treatment from us as the drug dealers get. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, no, wait, no. Maybe this is live. Maybe this was right before.
I don't care what ship they're attacking. When they attack, when we see them going in, ping, that's the end of the... Come in. They have to show that they...
Oh, this is actually right before. Oh my fucking god. How Iranian war propaganda was. Everyone keeps telling me Islam bad, Iranians welcome US bombs. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that in a second. He's managing to make them sound cool. Indeed. Well, also, Francis Drake is the most famous pirate. Well, I mean, it is. All of these things are true about it being an insane cult, and he's always been a racist sack of shit. But ultimately, this is just such a significant thing in the sense of Also, actually, sorry, hold on. He's such like a racist sack of shit, and the way he's been speaking about Somalis, portraying them as the enjoying other, and having these ICE agents go in full military gear, by the way, once again has to be noted, to crack down is legitimizing just doing whatever you want to people. Sorry, I just wanted to play this again. Just have a quick watch of this.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Look at the way in which Ilhan Omar's security just bumbles over to this guy. Look at his run! Sorry, we're slowing that down. He's not exactly running at full speed, is he? Jesus fucking Christ. That is an insane thing. it is an unbelievable thing, but it's also horrifying that he may have just had a gun and shot her, you know? That he could have had a gun potentially. We'll check out what Ilhan Omar is saying.
It was at a separate town hall in Minnesota last night where this moment happened to Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. She was speaking.
It's 3 steps. I know. He just doesn't look like he's running that fast.
When a man charged her at the lectern, and forensic examiners have now determined with high probability, they say, that what was in that syringe that the man was holding was apple cider vinegar. The 55-year-old man has been charged with assault in the 3rd degree, and I should note Capitol Police are also looking into pursuing potential federal charges against him tonight, which could include assaulting a member of Congress and impeding her from doing her official duties. The president, who last night in the hour...
Actually, the problem is the radical woke left who are doing like horrible things, and they do all the political violence.
Before this attack had been criticizing the Congresswoman, was asked about it in an interview with ABC News, where he told them that he doesn't think about her and called her a fraud.
That is such a funny bit. That is such a funny bit where he's constantly going, oh, I don't think about her. I think she's a fraud. That's you thinking about her, bro. And yeah, it's apple cider vinegar.
Said, quote, she probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. And Congresswoman Ilhan Omar joins me now, and I want to get to what the president said in a moment, but just...
Yeah, it's of course a hate crime, but it's a hate crime legitimated. Like, once again, this is why, like, I know some people are dismissive of psychoanalysis, right? But I do find Todd McGowan's argument most convincing about, like, how right-wing politics operates, of portraying, like, an enjoying other, enjoying at your expense. And, like... in the case of Ilhan Omar, she's this figurehead of Somalis enjoying at your expense. Like, referring to people as low IQ is straight up straight up just racist rhetoric. It's disgusting. It's despicable. And the fact that the president is doing that, saying, oh, look, these low IQ inferior Somalis are defrauding you. It's legitimating some crazy guy like that to just go up and fucking spray Ilhan Omar, potentially with something that wasn't apple cider vinegar next time.
First off, watching this last night, when this man charged you, you initially went after him and raised your fist. In that moment, that was your first reaction. What would have happened, do you think, if you had gotten to him before your security tackled him?
Well, I'm fortunate I didn't get to him, because I'd probably be catching charges as well.
I mean, just that moment, that instinct. And I should note, we are so grateful that you're okay. Obviously, we checked in with you.
I don't know. I don't know if there is something significant about apple cider vinegar. I don't know.
You and your team last night, I know you were dealing with the aftermath of this. You continued your town hall. They wanted you to go get checked out. You said no, you wanted to finish speaking first. Why was that important for you?
Well, you know, I realized a long time ago that whether...
Yeah, also 100% an apt point about how Trump, like, is making fun of her speech, and we've just watched Tom Homan's inability to speak.
It is the president's dangerous rhetoric, whether it is the death threats that I get, whether it is the right-wing vitriol, or this man attacking me last night. Their ultimate goal is to stop me from being a public servant, from serving my constituents with the dignity and the honor that they deserve. And last night, I was carrying out a promise I made to my constituents that I would hold a town hall every single month and be able to give them feedback on what I've been doing in Washington, D.C., and be able to answer their questions. And so it was really important for me in that moment to not allow this person intimidate me into running out of that room and canceling that town hall. My constituents deserve to have their congresswoman continue to do the work that they elected her to do, and that is my promise, and I will continue to do that.
I mean, and you are someone, you and I have spoken about this before, you have faced a lot of threats. I mean, what was going through your mind in that moment? It must have been scary as well.
Well, I initially thought that the person...
It's also so odd to just have it in like a little syringe, just really unusual.
spit on me. I saw, some liquids that landed on the podium and on some of the papers that I was reading my report from. And so, it was a human reaction to want to do something to someone that is trying to degrade you in that kind of way, because I've never been able to back down to cowards who act in ways that are disgusting in society.
Yeah, and it was disgusting and cowardly, obviously, and he is now facing charges, potentially federal charges from Capitol Police, and
they're supposed to take him into federal custody tomorrow, so charges should be coming.
Of course, and it depends who that other is. Like, every other that people create is just someone else. Like, fucking all of these idiot liberals do it as well. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's these internet leftists. It's like these people further to the left of us who are enjoying our expense. Like, they enjoy our suffering. And it's like, no, they're the ones who actually want to make change and are continually calling out the failures of the Democratic Party and the fact, like, the fact that someone like Donald Trump can beat someone like this. Like, can beat the Democrats. Someone so idiotic and horrifying.
At some point tomorrow is my understanding.
Was he known to your team before this? Had he been on any kind of radar of y'all's or anything?
No, I don't think any of us have had a personal interaction with him. He wasn't flagged in the system when we'd asked our team to look to see. I don't think. It is not my belief, although we continue to dig into it, that he's attended a previous...
They haven't really said if he's drunk or not.
...town hall of mine either.
Okay. And as obviously we've seen his past political...
It is just like a crazy thing to do, to like go around and spray apple cider vinegar.
...post and what he himself has said. I mentioned the president's response where he told ABC News just a few hours after this happened, she probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. Before you respond, I do want to remind everyone that when President Trump was nearly assassinated, you responded and said, we condemn acts of violence and pray for the victims, make calmness and decency prevail, and you said it was sad to hear the tragedy that had occurred. What went through your mind when you heard the president's response last night?
That is still insane.
Last night.
Insane that Trump got shot twice.
Well, the difference between the president and I is that I was raised to be a decent human being, and my faith teaches me to have compassion. And he lacks both of those things. This is a president who presides over an administration that when they assassinated Renee Good, told us that she was a domestic terrorist that was trying to kill the federal agents. When they assassinated Alex Preddy, they told us that he was a domestic terrorist who burnished a weapon. None of those things are true. They are known to be liars. They have constantly told us not to believe in our eyes. Fortunately, both of those assassinations were caught on camera, and so was what happened to me last night, caught on camera.
So when he claims it's staged...
Like imagine just staging this thing with some guy who's like a racist Trump fan online. Like, oh yeah, I've gone through this plan of like poisoning the mind of this strange character to spray me.
Do you say...
Well, I mean, this is also somebody who was talking about me in his town hall in Iowa.
Yeah, but like, even if you just got bleach or something, like, why apple cider vinegar? It feels really odd.
And then seems to exhibit some sort of dementia when he says he doesn't think about me. Maybe it is time for us for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, because he certainly cannot remember what he said and has done an hour ago.
It's also, by the way, it's also so funny that, like, people are like, oh, Charlie Kirk was killed because you called him a Nazi and stuff. No, Charlie Kirk was a Nazi. Charlie Kirk was well, he wasn't like, of course, like a worshipper of the actual Nazi party, but Charlie Kirk was a far-right extremist racist. He had ideological beliefs which may not have entirely aligned with the Nazis, but as a political project were premised on the same thing, which is blaming the other, blaming the immigrant, blaming the minority for enjoying at his expense and preventing the realization of the perfect political dream that he had, right? And it's like now in a context where you are demonizing and leading to mass violence against Somalian people, which kind of culminates in a situation like this, or could have culminated in a situation where Ilhan Omar is killed. None of these people give a singular shit. Like, none of these people give a shit. The people who told you, we need to deal with violent radical leftists, they don't care.
He was just posting about you truly 5 minutes ago before we came on air. I was looking at Truth Social and he had posted about you. And it reminded me of what he said when he announced that he was sending Tom Homan into Minneapolis. In that same post, he said, the Justice Department and Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell all. Were you aware there is a DOJ investigation here? The New York Times says it started in part under the Biden Justice Department into your financial disclosure forms, or into your finances and campaign spending. But were you aware that this Justice Department is looking into you?
No, but I'm not surprised. Over the years, there have been investigations with the FEC because people have filed complaints. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened in this case. And clearly, that investigation hasn't moved on because they don't have evidence of wrongdoing. And so I know that there's always been an attempt to smear my character, to smear the character of...
It's also just such a funny bit, right? Because the American dream is just capitalism and enriching yourself as much as possible. Ilhan Omar would be a success story in your vision.
The community that I ethnically belong to, there's always this sort of sad reference to the fact that I'm a refugee. It seems like these people seem to have a problem with the fact that I am living the American dream. Yes, I was once a refugee. Yes, I did survive war. Yes, I did come to the United States when I was 12 years old, not speaking English. But I did make it to the United States of Congress, representing our country, helping write the laws of this country and helping appropriate the resources that are utilized by all Americans. So yes, that is the American dream. They do not believe that the American dream is possible, and I think the fact that I'm a physical...
Oh, they do. But they believe the American dream is for white people.
Representation of that American dream pisses them off.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, thank you for joining.
Yeah, I mean, like, anytime Ilhan Omar speaks, she is going to come off as, like, way more convincing than, you know, the fucking Trump administration, Bordesar, or any of these people, because they are repugnant individuals, and Trump is just a racist moron. Married a wealthy dude. That's why she got very wealthy while she was working for the government. I don't know. Who's she even married to? I have no idea. Realistically, the thing is that she is literally just Somalian. That's why Trump has a problem with her. She is Somalian. That's the issue. And Trump has caused this, and now it'll go back to, oh, the left is problematic. And they'll actually tell you that accurately describing someone as a fascist, as a right-wing extremist, as someone who holds Nazi-adjacent beliefs is the problem. And they'll never talk about this. They'll aid and abet, they'll big up Trump. Piers Morgan is the best example of this. Piers Morgan is someone who regularly bigs up Trump, right? But just after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he's like, yep, this is the left's fault. The left did all of this. The left is the person who are responsible for killing Charlie Kirk. And it's like, what? Accurately describing Charlie Kirk as something is the problem. Okay, but worshipping the guy who spews out nonsensical, incoherent racism about Somalis at the fucking World Economic Forum is apparently less of a problem than some random guy on Twitter or like Hassan Piker or something. Donald Trump is stood at the World Economic Forum doing that shit. It's just like, the mind boggles that someone like Piers Morgan can wash his image by like inviting people on. Somalian, I apologize. So you prefer prefer Somali. Somali. Somali people, Somalian people, I don't know. Why would it be problematic? Oh, okay, apparently Somali's better. Okay, I'll try and remember that. Thank you for telling me. Through misinterpreting random data sets about crime. I mean, yeah, like, it's just like... Hold on. Like, listen to this. Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, killed him because he hated his opinions and thought he was a fascist. Yet, ironically, he was the fascist, killing someone to silence their opposing views. The woke left love to say speech is violent. It's not. Violence is. Has he even bothered tweeting about Piers Morgan? Ilhan Omar. Piers Morgan, Ilhan Omar. He'll have probably tweeted some fucking platitude. No, I don't think he even has. I don't think Piers Morgan has even bothered to tweet about I don't think he's bothered. He's just writing his insane book, Woke is Dead. Here's his left-wing credential. He recognized... Oh, yeah, I assume most of you saw this. The IOF have accepted the Gaza Health Ministry estimate of over 70,000 killed. By the way, also, in this article, it notes, as we all should note, this is only people who died as a result of direct violence. It doesn't include those who died of starvation or anything to that effect. And yeah, the Red Army are the fascists because they killed to silence the views of the Nazis. The speech of the Red Army was violent when they said that they needed to kill the Nazis. You don't understand. You don't operate on, like, a political level of Piers Morgan, okay? Some of you should probably take, like, a little break. A little break. It's unbelievable that, like, all of these people who crawled out of the woodwork to tell us all about how they felt about why it was wrong to call Charlie Kirk a fascist, in spite of the fact that Charlie Kirk was a fascist, he was a bigot, he was an incredibly racist individual who helped bring Donald Trump to power to engage in extreme violence and bigotry against the communities who he hated. Oh, he did mention Ilhan's attack, great. But what they don't understand, and, like, Piers Morgan, and what I'm getting at here, right, is, like, Piers Morgan is way more sympathetic to Trump than he is to,
Oh, it's so surprising they've never met.
Wait, here you go. Piers Morgan called me, President Trump called me for a 10-minute chat before leaving Windsor. He was on great form, absolutely loved his big royal day, and being back in the UK again. Spoke to the First Lady too, who sounded equally happy about how it's all going on a state visit. Shut the fuck up. Like, these people care because they're upset because people on the internet call them out and the people they love for their abhorrent beliefs, for their bigoted views about minorities. They get upset about that. They get upset about being called a bigot. But then when they actually sit across from, like, the most extremely dangerous, you know, person who engages in assaults on freedom of speech, who engages in violent racist rhetoric that leads to, you know, the targeting of Ilhan Omar, but also mass targeting of Somalis, even when they're not Somalis, even when they're not just killed or attacked, when they're just, like, you know, racially profiled and subjected to all these obscene raids, disappeared into ISIS custom system. When he's confronted by that, he's like, Mr. Trump, bootlicking time, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump. No, this was a while ago, and Piers Morgan has a broken hip. But, like, yeah, just listen to this. Conservative commentator Charlie Kirk has died after being shot at an event in Utah. An appalling assault on free speech and democracy. Charlie always welcomed debate with anyone. This is disgusting and heartbreaking. No. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just listening to people eulogizing a racist sack of shit. Like, this guy will have Sneeko on, he'll have all of these people on. And this is actually the funny part. He'll have Sneeko and everyone on and be like, I hate your views, Mr. Sneeko. How dare you be anti-Semitic? How dare you be misogynistic? And it's just like, bro, you associate him with Jeffrey Epstein's mans? You know? You are happy to eulogize Charlie Kirk for his sort of mass killing crap? Okay, right. Final story of the day. Okay, is Trump gonna strike Iran? Now, probably stuff has developed in the last few hours. So if you want to view an account which is like, I don't like open source intelligence. I tend to find that most of the accounts, why can't I find Mensch OSINT? Okay, here we go. Mensch OSINT. Okay, so Trump is now building up more and more forces in the Middle East. Here you go. So they have apparently they've just brought in an aircraft carrier, few destroyers in the region, air defense reinforcements. This is part of a military build-up deployed to possibly attack Iran in the coming days. As in June, bombers will highly likely also participate, involving tankers spotted in Diego Garcia this morning. It really is starting to maybe look a bit more like they're going to target Iran. This build-up is not as significant as previously. They're bringing in the USS Abraham Lincoln. They're bringing in all of this crap. Sorry, also, I didn't realize this wasn't a joke. Someone is drawing images with fake flight transponders of Fat J.D. Vance and Charlie Kirk. So, very interesting stuff. So, yeah, he's just noting F-35A that were deployed to Puerto Rico for Venezuela are heading to Moron AB, Spain. KC-46A tankers, call sign Gold 71, Gold 72, lame as shit. And more reinforcements are heading to the Middle East. So, seemingly, there's been even more of a build-up in the region. Now, here's a statement from Trump. A massive armada. I'm not going to read it in his voice. A massive armada is heading to Iran. It is moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It is a larger fleet headed by great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln than that sent to Venezuela. Like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons! One that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly of the essence. As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't. And there was Operation Midnight Hammer, a major destruction of Iran. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah, maybe this is, you know what, to grift on the Kalshi markets. To grift on the Kalshi markets, maybe. Maybe he just sets his boys up. I mean, his son is, like, involved with all of these, business, these gambling business accounts. Like, he is categorically, his son gets up to that shit. And, he's definitely been, He definitely could be. Like, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility. And I think another point that kind of pushes us in favor of that is Caroline Leavitt seemingly ended a press conference on the basis of that, where she just walked out so quickly. But yeah, I mean, so there's a statement from Trump But you've got to remember, this guy was talking about a few weeks ago how they were locked and loaded. He pulled out of an attack on Iran in 2019. This kind of notion that we actually know what Trump is going to do is pretty difficult to, you know, say whether it's true or not. Sorry, I'm also just going to... Oh, fuck. Fucker. Oh, shit. Excuse me, hold on. We are Charlie Kirk. Hold on. Excuse me. Right, here we go. I have my headset back. Okay. Focus. Here's The Guardian telling us all about whether Trump is going to attack Iran. Let's find out from The Guardian and see what they have to say. There's a pretty sizable build-up there, you know. There's plausibility that this is what's going to happen. I apologize. Sorry, I needed to unwind and take off my shirt. Me looking at Flight Tracker during work hours, thinking I'm watching world events like a game of... Yeah, it is pretty odd that we can actually do this, you know, that we have access to so much shit on the internet, and we can kind of see all of this stuff going on. It's fucking amazing, really, that we can know this much and try and find out. But also, then simultaneously, we really don't know. Because last time, no one really fully expected him to strike. If you remember, people were saying otherwise. Apparently, Trump is saying 24 hours to make a deal. Let's listen to what these people have to say.
He's now in a position to actually come good on his threats because massive US assets are now sort of in the region.
And by the way, there's another beautiful armada floating beautifully towards...
Sense it really...
It was just... Devika.
I really wish I could listen to more of that. That was an amazing music. And yes, this is my default skin.
So much for joining us today. It's obviously a very busy day for you. Now, it was just 2 weeks ago, it feels like a lifetime ago, that Trump said the US was about to strike Iran. We were all on edge. Nothing happened. And yet, here we are again. What's he said overnight?
Yes, so you're right. So yesterday he used Truth Social to sort of put forward this quite long post where he said that this fleet headed by the USS Abraham Lincoln is on its way.
I also just, like, there's really no popular way to do this, right? Like, I don't see a way that appeases both his allies and his base. Like, maybe limited strikes. It has pretty much bipartisan political support. It's obviously not backed by the vast amount of like leftists. It's backed by libs generally, and also some of the Republican base, like the hawkish people. But I don't know.
With great power, enthusiasm and purpose. And he uses this as an opportunity to threaten Iran and says that if Iran doesn't come good on making...
I don't think Iran is actually negotiating with the US. The demands are like that Iran has to dismantle its ballistic missile program. They're not going to do that. That removes the only deterrence they have left.
A deal, then it could be deployed and that time is sort of running out. Now, it's very striking in this post that he does not once mention the protests that were the original impetus for the reasons he was giving as to why the US would hit Iran.
Hello, Tony. And also, yeah, I love how quickly also he discarded the protests and just stopped giving a shit about them.
The deadly protests in which we think thousands have died. The numbers are not exactly clear.
Let's come back to his objectives in a minute, because I am curious about this fleet. It's been reported there are warships, aircraft carriers, something called missile destroyers, as far as I'm aware. It doesn't look like an empty threat now. Those are advancing at speed. So what does it mean? How seriously is it being taken?
Yeah, so I think that's right. I think this time, compared to just 3 weeks ago, he's now in a position to actually come good on his threats because these massive US assets are now sort of in the region and makes it much more likely that something could happen. And
oh, of course he's not liberating the protesters. Yeah, we all knew that already, you know.
The US has the
lots of pressure from rich fellas. This is an any day now. Yeah, I guess that it's always felt like that for many years, that this has always been something that is going to happen, and then it hasn't happened, and maybe it will though. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll be this time.
Abilities not only to carry it out, but then to sort of defend itself in any case of Iranian retaliation, which is what it would be sort of preparing for. We've got this USS Abraham Lincoln.
Everyone in liberal Western media is egging on to attack Iran. I'm gonna say, like, it does seem that Iran has killed a sizable number of people, the Iranian government, during its protests. But I think that there is a lot to be said about the way in which a death toll of 30,000 that has no confirmation is repeated over and over again in Western media by Time magazine, everywhere that they can get the opportunity to do it. When, like, we don't really have much credibility. Like, governments aren't saying this, and, like... Gaza death toll. Do any of you remember Lloyd Austin? Like, the Pentagon had to get Lloyd Austin to walk back his statement about the Gaza death toll because he said, oh yeah, 25,000 women and children had been killed there, using the Gaza Ministry of Health death toll, because he knew it was accurate, because the US internally said it was accurate, or at least was a good base estimate. Like, but we had to contend with, for years, the media saying, oh, this is reported by X, Y, and Z, like, criticize, not actually even offering any analysis or explanation of how that death toll was reached, just accepting the Israeli narrative around it, in spite of the fact that it was likely a huge undercount of all the people who died in the genocide. And yet we had that questioned for 2 years, and now this is repeated over and over again, and people will try and tell you, well, X amount of people have died, so intervention's okay. If you listen to our podcast, I was like, hey, Saddam was killed more Kurds, and you now agree that it was wrong to intervene. You will say that you were against this, that you despised it, when the US actually carries out the bombardment campaign, and when what unfolds in Iran unfolds. Because I don't think it'll be a swift military coup. I don't think it'll be a seizure of power. I don't know what it'll be. It could be one of those things, but I am really, really hesitant of the notion that it'll be a positive transition towards democracy. I don't think Pahlavi has anywhere near the legitimacy that people claim, but who knows?
I think it's got several dozen fighter jets on it. We also think that there are other aircraft and assets heading to the region, to Qatar, to Jordan, to the big US bases there. So now we're in a position where the US could actually carry this out in a way it couldn't 3 weeks ago.
Wow. And of course, let's look at the Iranian people for a minute, because as you've said, there's been a brutal crackdown. Tens of thousands of protesters have been believed to have been killed.
See, like, that just on here, I don't think that would run with them saying hundreds of thousands of people dead in Gaza, in spite of the fact that multitude of different outlets have estimated that with, like, full-on explanations. HRNA, I heard someone say, is, like, very good at estimating, and they're saying that there's 6,000 dead already with thousands, over 10,000 more being investigated. I mean, Iran have killed, and all of their protests have escalated in terms of the amount of people killed. But one thing I will say is, like, it does feel as if there had been massacres of 30,000 people, there would be videos emerging of just, like, huge amounts of bodies on the streets. So unless they happened specifically in the areas where, with full internet blackouts, or everyone was killed in that area, because there are videos of, like, bloodshed happening, and I don't deny that, but internet goes out and boom, the protest stops. Yeah, the internet goes out coupled with a crackdown. Like, turning off the internet, by the way, is a horrifying thing to do. I don't think you should undermine that.
The US strikes Iran. What happens to the Iranians? What could come next?
As I said, sort of the original kind of reason Trump was giving for going into Iran 3 weeks ago was the protest. Trump was sort of rallying them almost, telling them to keep on the streets, telling them that help was coming. He sort of literally used that phrase. And then he sort of U-turned on that. But now he's not mentioning the protesters at all. And it does make you wonder where he thinks.
Some outlets are claiming that 80,000 people died in Iran, that 300,000 were wounded.
Things are going to go for them, and where the US kind of is sitting on that front. And in terms of if
there is footage of, like, overflowing morgues. It looks like a sizable number of people were killed, no doubt. But I don't know. I feel that a lot of these like, incredibly high death tolls are I'm not so sure about them. I'm not gonna lie.
Where a strike, I mean, it's really hard to know because it's such an opaque regime. But, you know, there's one school of thought that says, far from sort of galvanizing the opposition, they are severely weakened now. They've just been had this brutal crackdown against them. But certainly, what is the case?
You think you have full access to the internet? I'm aware I don't have full access to everything on the internet. And much of the most important stuff on the internet is actually behind paywalls. However, simultaneously, my internet has not been like fully shut off, and I've been disconnected from it.
Case if the aim of this is to take out the regime at the very top, then that would have huge consequences. Not just.
It depends what you want to know more about Iran. Like, plenty of people write well about it. Like, I've just been reading old books, really. And kind of like reading all of the information that comes out and trying to discern what's going on there from that. After seeing Gaza, though, they are saying 30,000 dead and a number of bodies. It's hard to believe 80,000 have been killed without seeing evidence. I mean, yeah, there's evidence of there's evidence of a crackdown against protesters, but yeah.
Just in Iran, but across the whole region.
And what about the prospect of a military takeover? You know, the idea that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, who have been executing people, who have been carrying out this regime's actions, that they're in charge.
Well, so, I mean, the Revolutionary Guard is already an incredibly powerful force in Iran. And we think today there's the possibility that the EU is going to take this somewhat symbolic, but still significant action to kind of sanction the Revolutionary Guards to sort of formally designate.
Okay, these people are not particularly interesting. I'm going to finish up with that. I'm not so interested in whatever the hell they're talking about. So here's Marco Rubio talking yesterday. We'll see what he has to say. There's people who have surmised that even the Islamic Revolution might have been purported by the US.
You give us briefly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who blame Jimmy Carter for this. They had a you can look up his name. His name's General Hussar, Iran. Fuck. Oh, fuck. American general in Iran. Hussar? I think his name's Hussar. Hussar, that's his name. Hussar. U.S. general. No, why can't I find this? General Hussar, Iran. Here he is, Robert E. Hussar. Why is it so difficult to find? So Robert E. Hussar was a 4-star general sent to Tehran to maintain the possibility of doing a military coup right up to the fall of like the regime, like the Shah's government. He departed on February 3rd. He was there for the plan to do a military coup there. That was basically, they realized, oh shit, everything's out of our control. We can't really do much else. But yeah, thanks for the donation, Thomas. But you're right. There's people with like, there's people who have surmised that the Islamic might have been puppeted. Yeah. I don't think it was. I found nothing convincing of that.
Briefly, we've heard such differing accounts, and the president has spoken strongly. You have as well on the deaths in Iran, and the horrible atrocities that are being committed. Can you give us some sense of? We see reports of thousands, tens of thousands. What's the State Department's best estimate of what's happened on the ground?
Well, I don't, in the thousands for certain. And look, I think regimes, including that one in Iran, have learned that when you start shooting people in the head with snipers, it's effective. I mean, it works, and they've done it, and it's horrifying.
By the way, also, it does set already there's a bad precedent of killing protesters. And by the way, this precedent already existed, but certainly if, these numbers of like thousands are even to be believed, that is a horrifying precedent of just huge amounts of people being killed.
And that's what we've seen. That regime is probably weaker than it has ever been. And the core problem they face, unlike the protests you saw in the past on some other topics, is that they don't have a way to address the core complaints of the protesters, which is that their economy's in collapse. And the reason why there's economies in collapse is because...
What am I not going to find on a Google search?
Because they spend all their money and all their...
The Great March of Return had a huge amount of people wounded, but I think it's only around 100 people killed. But even then, I think a great point to make about the Great March of Return is... I think the point to make about the Great March of Return is that, like, the wounding that they inflicted on people is not necessarily much better than, you know, just like not killing them. It's totally unacceptable as well. It's totally unjust. And yeah, like the dangerous precedent is already there, you know.
Resources, building weapons, and sponsoring terrorist groups around the world instead of reinvesting it back into their society. And as a result of taking on massive global sanctions, which has isolated their economy and their country. And so that's what the Iranian people are demanding, is that they stop doing that and start caring about them and get these sanctions off them. And this regime is unwilling to do it. So the core challenge is the protests may have ebbed, but they will spark up again in the future, because this regime, unless they are willing to change and or leave, have no way of addressing the legitimate and consistent complaints of the people of Iran.
As much as I disdain Marco Rubio, that's true. I think people should probably realize that, like, this is the issue. Iran doesn't have an ability to address the problems that is going on in their country. Like, it just doesn't. It's really, 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 really just like a bind. It's a real bind for them.
Iran who deserve better.
1979 Islamic Revolution and the involvement of the CIA. What do you mean about the involvement of the CIA? You probably would be able to find that online. There are plenty of people who've done research, but, like, what do you think the CIA did in Iran to foment the protests, or, like, to create the situation that got rid of him? What was I going to talk about? Sorry, there's something I wanted to watch. There's a US. Okay, here we go.
To attack Iran.
Electronic and is now in the Indian Ocean near Iran. Its current movement allows these jets, the F-18 Super Hornet and the F-35s, to be deployed for potential strikes, as well as the EA-18 Growler, which can be used to jam electronic devices. It's believed that the aircraft carrier and supporting ships are already
utterly ridiculous.
Any country under such pressures. Yeah, I mean, Iran does definitely have huge problems with corruption and all of these things as well, but it's a pretty difficult situation to address when you're under huge sanctions and you can't really do anything. Like, if your currency's really weak, you can import loads of shit, but they can't really do anything about that, like, ultimately.
within striking distance of Iran. They're not yet at their final destination. And President Trump has...
It's also, by the way, so funny that so many people like, Iran wastes all its money on proxies and doing this and doing that rather than feeding its people. It's like, bro, how much do you think an EA-18 costs? How much do you think an FA-18 costs? How much do you think an F-35 costs? How much does an actual, doesn't a B-2 bomber cost? I think a B-2 bomber costs 2.1 billion. So for a singular B-2 bomber, which exclusive use is not protection, it's to force countries to capitulate to you. The US spends $2 billion per B-2 bomber. How many B-2 bombers does the US have? And that's not even like so the US has 20 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. Apparently 21 were produced, and then one was destroyed in a crash, and there was another accident, so there are 19. So, okay, so there's 21. What, times 2.2 billion? That's like 45 billion or something on these aircrafts. And it's just like, how many people starve in your country, sorry? How much do you spend on maintaining them and all of this stuff? But no, actually, no, Iran spent all their money on evil proxies. You give yours to a country doing genocide? I don't know. You use them to bomb a country so that the country that you support can do genocide more and better. And thanks for the 22. Thanks for the double donation, Thomas. How much does the ICE Republican Guard cost? Exactly, billions and billions of dollars on all of this shit. And they tell you, no. Actually, Iran's the problem. Trump is siphoning money out of corruption and all of this shit as well. Of course, Iran is killing protesters on a grander scale, even historically, than the US has. But still, the US is meant to be this paragon of liberal democracy who has the right to destroy Iran because of its morality.
Labelled the movement of ships to the region an armada. Well, joining me now is Vali Nasser, former US government advisor and professor of international affairs and Middle East studies from Washington, D.C. Vali Nasser, it's good to have you back on the program. Do you think that Donald Trump is getting ready to do a Venezuela, to do a strike?
Well, all the indications are that the U.S. is getting very ready to attack Iran, and President Trump has used the word putting together an armada and saying he hopes that he doesn't have to use it, but might use it. So there's a lot of saber rattling going on. But I think Venezuela would be very difficult in Iran. Just decapitating the regime would be difficult, and carrying out a strike that would have the result like Venezuela had would be very difficult to fathom in Iran.
By the way, we also still don't really know what the outcome and reality of it is, right? Like in Venezuela. Both of them are bad. Yeah, I don't disagree with you that actually both of these people, both of those countries have unjust, undemocratic regimes. Iran's is obviously to a greater extent. And yes, of course, the US engages in social murder, all of this repression and such. It's just this point at which the US continually thinks that it has this right to intervene and destroy a country and make it democratic or make it better, when it plays such a large role in just the worsening of billions of people's lives. As bad as what Iran may be doing to its own population. What the hell do you think that what do you think that these people have done over and over again? You're living in Iran. How are you on this stream? How's that possible? Have you got internet somehow?
And is the reason why the Israelis told him not to intervene 2 weeks ago, and why he actually then didn't intervene despite the warnings, that none of the assets that we're seeing now were in place at the time? It would have been far too dangerous for other countries in the region.
That was one reason. Israel thought that if the armada was in place and Iran tried to hit Israel, the armada could intercept Iran's missiles. And
crazy. I hope that you're safe. Hardly recommend 3413. It seems like a pretty testing time to be living inside Iran. But yeah, I mean, seemingly Israel, Saudi, and the UAE, well, UAE don't really give a shit. UAE are just seemingly doing whatever. But Saudi, Turkey, their whole block is don't bomb Iran. Do not bomb Iran, because they don't want the consequences. They don't want Iranian refugees coming over from the Gulf, because Iranians are not going to Afghanistan.
Ridiculous.
Iranians are going to try and go on... Iranians are going to try and go to the Gulf. They're going to try and go to Europe, where already huge amounts of Iranians are. And then the same people who lust after and desire this bombing raid will be like, I don't want these immigrants. I don't want this. I didn't want this. And it's you're the ones fucking up Iran, and the people here probably aren't going to leave either. There's a YouTube audio delay. There's audio on YouTube of Delcy Rodriguez recounting how she was threatened by the US 5 days ago. Crazy, I've not even heard of that. Thank you for the $5,500 reproduce.
Therefore, it would serve as the first line of defense for Israel. But there were also other voices. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince also spoke with President Trump, and his argument was that essentially once you start a war, you don't know how it's going to unfold, and that the danger of either chaos in Iran or Iranian retaliation was quite high for the region. So their estimation of how this war might unfold was very different from that of Israel, and that, I think, was also persuasive to President Trump last week.
I mean, also, the main thing, though, by the way, is if Iran carries out major... Iran can obviously hit Israel very hard. It can hit all of these. It can hit the Gulf air bases. It probably can and will. It could mine the Straits of Hormuz. I want to check that, because I always say Hormuz, but it might actually be Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz. It's the Strait of Hormuz. And so they can do stuff like that. They can cause issues for global shipping, global oil, and all of this stuff. And yeah, it also really doesn't seem that Saudi Arabia would want the global oil market to be flooded with Iranian oil if there is regime change. So a multitude of them have different reasoning and justifications for not wanting bombardment. But I don't know, it really remains to be seen.
We'll see if he still holds on to that idea.
Is this gunship diplomacy of the modern era without the diplomacy, as it were?
Well, there is sort of back channels, I think, ongoing. But the problem is that President Trump is asking for Iranian surrender of all of its assets, nuclear, missiles, regional, as well as change in the regime. And the Iranian government is not ready to surrender, and it doesn't think that it should do so, and is preparing itself to fight back. And that fight back part is really the question mark over what a strike on Iran might mean. In other words, the United States can start a war, but it cannot quite decide how this war would unfold or what the day after.
Remember as well, in one important thing, when did they capture Saddam Hussein? Iraq court. So, wait, hold on. Saddam. When was Saddam Hussein captured? What was the actual date? At some point in like 2003, right? In March, Saddam. So Saddam was captured on the 13th of December 2023. This started on the 20th of March. Okay, so after like 5-6 months, they captured Saddam Hussein. They said that that was the end of... that was going to be the end. Who fucking knows what's actually going to happen after all of this? Pre-sanctions Iran was a very nice place to visit. USA sanctions literally put everything down the drain. My brother was flying there almost bi-weekly basis as he works for PA. Did PA fly to Iran until recently? Wait. British Airways flight to Iran. Oh, it suspended services in 2018. Yeah, I mean, Iran is a very beautiful, like, amazing place, you know.
After in Iran might look like.
And given the brutality of the government's response to the anti-regime protests, can one expect its response to, Qatar or Saudi Arabia, allies of America in the region, Israel, of course, as well, to be much more severe this time than last June?
Yes, one of the indications that came out of this brutal repression in Iran of the crackdown was that the regime's security forces are now highly disciplined and highly engaged in a fight to the finish. And therefore, I think they are putting all options on the table as well. As they could hit U.S. troops, they could hit U.S. allies in the region in a manner that they didn't do during the 12-day war that happened in June. And I think that's a question mark. Is President Trump really ready for starting a war that might be much more extensive than just surgical strikes against Iran?
This is also, by the way, the biggest question. This is like the one of the hardest questions. Trump cannot do a Venezuela style thing. So what's he gonna do? Like what happens? How do you do it? I don't know. Guys, I'm really sorry. I'm feeling like a bit tired, so I think I'm going to end the stream there. We've done 3 hours, so it's not bad. I'm going to see if I can go live tomorrow. I'm going to try and do it. I'll let you guys know if I sort of get round to it, if I have the ability or not. Just check the YouTube post page, but I will be recording, so it wouldn't be a late stream anyway. But I thank you guys for coming. I thank you all for donating. I thank you all for supporting. If you want to check it out, there's a donation link in the pinned comment. There's also a link to the Discord if you haven't joined already. I will see you guys soon, and yeah, once again, thank you for everything, and I look forward to streaming again. Thanks for a great stream, everyone.